extenuate. Fuck, I don't know.
You need to go extra super racist. Like,
Alright.
yeah.
Dude, I heard somebody. I think I'm making that up. I was gonna say I heard someone get upset at the word cracker, and I was like, wait, no, I didn't. That doesn't even exist in like fantasy land.
Yes, it does. Have you ever seen like anybody interact with a rapper named JPEG Mafia? Because boy, he throws around the word cracker a lot, and he does it because he knows it just pisses people off. And man, they come at him so hard, and he's just sitting there laughing at them like the idiots they are. It's great.
You know, I wake up every day and I'm like, oh, I'm still white. I should probably apologize to someone for something. I don't know who and I don't know what, but I'm gonna take a wild guess. I'll look around at work, be like, I wonder, maybe I shouldn't have gotten promoted. I mean, granted, that's also because I look in the mirror and I'm like, Jesus Christ, maybe I should have gotten promoted. What were they thinking?
Oh, gee. Signed up for a live one tonight, folks.
Sorry, I apologize for any ribald statements. I don't want to offend any younger listeners.
Of course.
Hey, Polly, who is this?
What?
Who is this? Hi.
What?
What?
Are you fucking for real?
I know you. Can you put a username to it or something?
Rhett's dad.
Oh, hi.
Oh, God.
Oh, son. So I thought of something I wanted to say, but I didn't want to wait for an excuse to use it, so I'm just going to say it out of context and less funny, which will be a running theme for me, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me see if I can fuck up saying this very simple sentence like a clown. I was going to say, I haven't impressed anybody since the time I showed him my dad's dick. I don't know. It sounded like something to say.
Those are words that definitely came out of your mouth.
Hell yeah, they did. That's what they said.
If you wanna follow our live chat, go to twitch.tv/polyhead.
All right, hold on. Twitch. Hold on, I'm getting a fucking pen.
Oh my god, it's on Twitter. I just tweeted it out. You can go there. You can go there and pop out the chat.
God damn it.
Okay, I know who. Okay. It's like, wait, was Polly kidding? Wait.
What?
What?
Don't worry, Sean's an idiot.
Bunch of fucking kids.
You fucking kids.
Never
mind.
Speaking
Speaking of Elysian,
2 words I just strung together. Scratch that.
Oh no. Good thing I've got this here fork.
Hey, you dropped your fork.
I dropped my fork on the table. That's my new gag. It's my thing.
That's funny.
It is. It's a great gag.
Oh, somebody thought it was funny, Polly.
Oh boy, yeah, we're just getting the crowd warm, getting them in here.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Confusing John deliberately,
John.
maliciously.
John,
John's just in his post-chili nap right now.
Oh my god, so much.
You're just like, I'm gonna go take a 2-hour nap. I'm like, we have the podcast in 1 hour.
I know that was the joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was definitely.
Wanted to lean into it even. Thought about leaning into it even further. Just like, oh, that was too much chili. Oh, I can't even speak.
Impulse control, Thayer. Impulse control.
That's
your thing now. That's your new thing. Your middle name is Impulse Control.
I ate 1 bowl of chili too many instead of 3 bowls of chili too many, so I feel like I succeeded.
1 bowl of chili seems to me like it's 1 bowl of chili too many. Jesus.
Chili's very good. I don't know what you're fucking talking about.
I don't know what I'm fucking talking about.
Okay, good.
Good. That's good.
Don't shit talk chili. Chili's great.
Damn. I didn't know that there were these kind of hot takes on chili.
I would say they're chili takes. Because it's also a word that you can use for cold things. The word chili, it's spelled chili when referring to a food, but if you spell it chilly, it instead refers to what you could refer to as a cold front or a type of climate, which is actually cold. The opposite of hot, which is the word you put in front of hot takes to describe takes on the internet from people who are racist.
Did you know that to dust something can mean both to remove dust from it or to put dust on it?
You can also say that you dusted somebody, and that means you killed them.
Yeah,
dude, that's fucked up. You can't say that on Twitch.
You can't say dusted on Twitch?
No, you can't say the K slur.
Oh.
Which somebody tweeted, please stop using the phrase K slur to mean kill. There's an actual K.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And I just imagine there's these people like really stupid people like, I'm gonna K slur you, and they're like, what?
You're gonna excuse me.
Oh, what a man! People are dumb as.
Oh yeah, that one.
If you give people.
Oh, okay, John. You're not alone in that one.
John just figured it out.
Ethnic slurs, yes.
John just figured it out.
Okay, maybe I'm just a piece of shit, and I know all of the fucking grade school slurs like an animal.
Well, I mean, you are a noted racist. That's what you're known for.
Notated. This guy's really fucking racist. Someone should... I'm in the history books, just under sections on famous racists, and it's a picture of me looking confused. And they just put, this guy, he's really fucking racist.
Crackers on the list. It is sometimes used specifically to refer to a native of Florida or Georgia.
Just specifically Florida and Georgia? Really?
I was raised for 10 years in Georgia and then 10 years in Florida.
Good for them. Bunch of crackers.
They had me.
Yeah, Georgia doesn't have a lot of Plan B, and that's unfortunate.
Oh no.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Ooh. It's going to be that kind of night, folks. Welcome to Sockscast episode 107. Sockscast brought to you, as always, by Moon Pies. Moon Pies, we are the snack cake that loves you. We are the only ones that love you. I'm your good pal, Polly, and welcome, everyone. Hope that your Sunday evenings are going well wherever you are at listening to us, or if you're listening to the playback at some other point in time. What are you doing that for? People only do things in the moment these days. It's stupid to do things and to partake of them after they've occurred, you big dingus. What are you thinking?
Honestly.
Y'all have, listen, y'all have like 5.5 days left to get us your Game of the Year lists. We got to get that out there. And Rhett, how are we looking on that so far?
We've got a couple, not too many so far. Let me do another check. I think. Oh, we've got 2 more since. Okay, so we've got like 4 so far.
All right, so they're starting to come in. We have.
So everybody's putting it off for the last minute, basically.
I did not realize how soon it was until last week.
I know.
Yeah. So if you want to get us your Game of the Year list once again, get yourself a list of 3 video games. You don't even have to. They don't have to have come out this year. So long as you played it this year for the first time, you're golden. Then you're gonna write yourself a little 1 to 3 sentence blurb about said games. Make it all flowery. All those use different languages if you want. We especially want to speak foreign languages while reading these. And then you send that to podcast@socksmakepeoplesexy.net. Rhett, where are they sending it?
Podcast@socksmakepeoplesexy.net.
All right. So get us those lists because we are recording Game of the Year next Saturday. That is the 14th.
Thank you for not asking me.
Yes, I had no intention of asking you because you're a rascal.
That's true.
You're a rascal, and you would have done something, and I'd have been like, God darn it, John Thayer, you rascal.
Gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it, you got me again. You bamboozled me. So yeah, that's coming up in like 5.5 days. Get us your Game of the Year lists if you want to be read during that podcast. So we'll be recording that in just a few short days. To my immediate virtual right, he is a doctor of death, curing his patients of breath. It is Rhett.
Oh, it's me.
It's
Weird.
you. It's you. It's you. It's just you. Despite everything, it's still you.
Hi.
You ready to do one of these talk thingies?
It's a good thing you brought in a super special guest because I'm actually feeling a little under the weather right now. I don't know if it shows up in my voice or not.
Yeah, you sound a little down.
Gravelly.
You know what?
Yeah, you sound like shit.
Thanks.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Our guest, whose mic makes them sound like dog shit, just said that you sound like dog shit.
Yeah, everybody knows. I'm a freak.
You're a freak. Well, we will make up.
Like,
oh no.
Hello.
We'll make up for all the enthusiasm that you don't have today. I can promise you that. All right. You've been there.
I'm excited about a few things. Don't worry.
You've pulled us back up. We'll be there to pull you back up. To my immediate virtual left, the way he slurp, he's the quicker picker upper. It's John Thayer.
Hi.
How's it going?
Doing well.
Slurp,
got a lot of
slurp,
fun
huh?
things to talk about.
There you go. Slurp. That's you.
Yep. As I slurped up my tea.
Yep. That's exactly what I was talking. What else would I be talking about?
Yep. Goes nice with some candy.
There you go. John, you're ready for a podcast.
That's where my brain goes when you say slurp,
yeah.
Which is funny to me.
You're doing good work for us, John. John, we've got to make sure that Rhett gets through this episode alive.
Okay.
It's up to us.
Let's just fill him up with good vibes the whole time.
There you go. Good vibes forever. That's what he's going to be.
Hey, Rhett, you're doing great.
You do, Rhett.
Doing great.
Good job. I'm proud of you, Rhett.
Hey, we're all proud of you.
We are. We got a special guest in the house today. If you haven't already noticed, it's Rhett's dad.
Hey, how's it
Fuck
going,
off.
son? I love you. I know I don't say it often or ever, but I want you to know that I love you. And your mother, she's a fucking bitch. You know that, and I know that. And I know that when I die, you're gonna love me more, and you're gonna know that I cared more about you. And I know that you know that too.
Way to fill your son up with just all that positive energy.
I just hate his fucking mom. Fucking
You're
leech
doing
sucks
such a good
dry.
impression.
It's our good pal. Of course, it's our good pal Samurai Karasu. It's been a while since we've had you on. I noticed that it almost been like 2 years.
Jesus Christ, time flies when you're depressed.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it?
Yeah. You look in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, is that me? And then you're like, God, I hope not.
Yeah, like the first episode of 2018 is when we had you on last.
Jeepers creepers.
So it's been a hot minute. So it's like, why not close out the decade with our most revered guest host?
I appreciate that, and I'm well known around the internet for
being a racist.
Yes, absolutely. Well,
being very mean to good PlayStation RPGs.
Ooh.
That's the same person, right?
Name one good RPG I was mean to, and I'll blow you right here.
Frontier.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Name a good RPG.
Oh no!
Up top, high five. Game sucks. Grow up, bitch. Play Digimon World. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, Cyber Sleuth is on my to play list.
Motherfucking! I'm glad you brought it up because I am playing Cyber Sleuth.
Right this very moment. All right, well, tell us about Digimon Cyber Sleuth.
You believe in Cyber Sleuths, Miss Polly?
I believe.
You better, because you're in one.
Oh shit!
Well, Digimon Cyber Sleuth is a game that I bought because I wanted to. The game essentially is if you were like, hey, I want to have a War Greymon, here's 20 of my hard-earned dollars, and then you fucking digivolve back and forth, and you're like, oh my god, this is taking forever, and then you get a Digimon that you've liked since you were a kid, and you jerk off about it. And honestly, I have never I love Persona 5 story. I love RPG stories. That's why I listed a whole single one that I've played. I love listening to stories in this. I cannot be interested in the story. I have never skipped dialogue faster. I'm like, I don't care. Let me fight battles. Because one of the characters is this girl who doesn't wear a bra and has her tits out. If you can imagine that in a
JRPG,
if you'll pardon my vernacular, her titties is popping, but she is always like saying, like going on forever and rambling, which you'd think I'd enjoy because I look at it's very similar to me.
Yeah,
But she's always just rambling, and I'm just not interested, and it's just like, the Shinjuku line actually runs through. If you find it, back in the day, there used to be a whole lot of, and I'm like, I could not possibly care any less. Let me get a goddamn Digimon. Let me fucking make Lucemon right now. I don't care. And I try really hard to care, but I'm just not interested.
Do you know what Hooker's favorite Digimon is? Lucemon.
Oh.
Loose. See what I did there? See? Get it? Huh? You come here for quality comedy.
I would like to announce my resignation from this podcast.
So, don't you get to be a cute girl in Cyber Sleuth?
You have the option to be a boy or a girl. Very progressive in 2016. But no shit. I was watching a review while waiting for you to call me because I'm insane, and I'm like, I'm not really feeling this game a lot. Let me watch a review. It's not bad, but it's just really like I'm grinding a lot, which I probably shouldn't be, but I'm like, I don't want these Digimon, I want better ones. So I'm a collectionist nut. So like I don't know. That's what I want to do with it. So I'm probably not playing it right. I'm like I'm playing it like Pokemon when it's like it's more a Shin Megami Tensei sort of game. Mm-hmm. And the issue is I watched a review of it by some British guy, and I was like, maybe if I watch a review, he'll make me like the game more. Because which is absolutely insane and stupid and doesn't work.
I mean, that's how we should all form our opinions, right?
Yeah. It's 5 bags of popcorn and 9 out of 10 stars. It's a great game. Everybody loves it. It's got anime titties. No, the dude's review, I wrote this down because I wanted to bring it to the show because I was just like, I could not made a bigger jerk-off motion. when he gave the explanation of, it was some fucking British cunt who goes, you can play as a boy or a girl, and he goes, essentially, the only two genders that exist outside of Tumblr.
Oh, good. Oh, good. One of those.
And also, in case the joke didn't hit hard enough.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Don't worry, it doesn't get into slur territory.
Really? We're not going attack helicopter?
No. Well, you know what? Attack helicopter, that would have been a joke. What he instead, and not a good joke or a joke at all, but it would have been trying, I guess. Instead, he goes, you can be either digiqueer or panagumon, which aren't fucking genders, you dumb limey fuck. Jesus Christ!
Oh my god, that's really fucking bad.
Wanting to make two boring jokes for the sake of none. It was so, like, and also, later in the video, he starts talking about Titty Waifu at the Cyber Sleuth Academy, and he's like, I enjoy when there's sexualized women in media. I'm not some social justice spaz. And I'm just like, bro, everybody likes titty. It's fine. No one's coming to take this away from you. Shut the fuck up. Keep writing your, like, poorly understood jokes about gender and sexuality, and then take that fucking little pen you're writing your script with and jam it into your goddamn throat. I've had enough of it. Dude, it was really funny. Also, I apologize.
It was a delight.
It's actually kind of funny if you think about it, because they're not people.
Exactly.
It's funny if we just keep demeaning people, and eventually they'll all want to be sad, and then we'll be like, why are they so sad? It must be because they're gender pan. What?
Gender
I don't
pan.
get it.
Oh my god.
So, did the review make you like the game?
No.
Made you hate
I
the
thought
game,
maybe
sounds like.
you,
Didn't really make me like anything, to be honest with you. Made me like that gun I got in my house. Jesus, what a wreck. And he reviewed all of the Digimon games, and the first one he's just like, that's why you just go around shitting all the time. It's like you're a fucking parent. And I'm like, shut up. Fuck you. I'm like, yeah, you're raising a fucking, like, a child Digimon. Like, that's sort of the point. That was the whole thing. I'm not saying, wow, it's amazing. It's bringing the V-Pet to the PS1. And hey, here's another wild idea. Fuck you.
Boom. Just boom. Wow, I wasn't expecting it to drop the hammer that heavy, but man, oh man.
It was really good review, other than...
Oh, absolutely. It sounds like a delight.
Inexplicably being like... Well, granted, it was made in 2016, but even in 2016, were we past Tumblr jokes?
Yeah.
As a society?
that was peak. We've got a signal to that audience.
God almighty, I hope not. And just... I didn't read the comment. No, wait, I did read some of the comments, and most of them were just like, no, this game's good, bro. And he's like, I don't know.
Why do people have genders?
I don't know, Ricky Gervais. Oh, you are Ricky Gervais? Alright, that wasn't very nice. Excuse my language. No, I think the best Ricky Gervais takedown is Left at London's tweet, where she just impersonates Ricky Gervais and Louis C.K. having a conversation. At some point he goes, they say that all the blokes want to be women. They can't drive. And then he goes, and now people are saying, she says, and now people are saying that agender, that no gender, what, gender's not real. What is it, like God? Because God's not real. Oh, man. I'm glad I fucking made that great, amazing, really funny 30 seconds.
Yeah, you really nailed it, I think.
Yeah. That really mediocre into a fucking horrible 2-minute slaughtering of something funny.
Yeah, you took all the good and you put the straw on the top, sucked it all out, spit it in the toilet, and that's what we're left with.
Well, that's how I came here.
I'll congratulate you, though. You did a good job of it. You did a really good job of taking a funny thing and making it not funny, though.
Why the fuck did you bring me on your podcast?
Well, this is your specialty. We're a podcast that is not funny, and we make it not funny all the time.
Thank God. I have
John
never...
Yeah. That's usually John's job. He hasn't been doing it enough lately.
Yeah.
I mean, usually I'm carrying the weight for all of us, just bringing all the good jokes. But I get what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, all of your opinions are essentially jokes, so...
Yeah.
John, you do bring the good shit.
How's Saga Frontier, bitch?
I played it this year again, and it's really good.
Wow.
I liked it a lot more this time.
Jesus Christ, that's sad.
I understand what's happening here now. Polly brought in a special guest because a new Saga game came out.
Oh my God.
And John is sitting here like, oh fuck, I can't talk about that.
They're still releasing those?
Two of them came out in the last month.
Saga will never die.
Saga never dies!
Two of them came out in the last month.
Yep.
Who the fuck is buying? How many of those did you buy to trick them into making more?
I bought one of them twice. Because the iPhone version was busted, so I was like, okay, let's get the Vita version.
No, stop, for your own dignity. Polly, can you cut that out of the replay for his sake?
It's really good.
If you could do me a favor.
I got you in post. Yeah,
sounds like a real fucking slam dunk.
I've had two separate friends who aren't into Saga come up to me and be like, I just started playing Saga Scarlet Grace, the new one, last night, and then I accidentally kept playing until like 1 a.m.
See, here's the thing about Scarlet Grace.
So-
I watched
So
somebody
you know
play.
two assholes.
I watched somebody play Scarlet Grace for an hour and a half.
Uh-huh.
From the beginning,
Uh-huh.
I had no idea what the fuck was going on in any of those systems.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of the fun of it, is to not know what you're doing and to be confused and unhappy?
But see, I watched this same person play an hour and a half of Romancing Saga 3 and said, hey, I might play that. So...
See, at some point, like, it's not the streamer's fault when the game is bad, such as all Saga games. But at some point, maybe, just maybe, these games are not good. And I also want you to understand something right here and right now. I have never learned anything about these games on purpose. and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because I want you to explain them to me, because you have the uncanny ability to make these games sound incomprehensibly shitty. And I refuse to look at any other. I want you to be my sole source for these Saga games. I don't know if you put 20 games in, if you put 2 fucking games in front of me with their titles covered, I would not be able to know which one's a Saga game. And that's completely fine. I might have played one of these and not known it, but the way that you describe these games makes them sound unbearable. And I'm very happy.
4 years. I'm better at describing things.
I'm not saying you're a bad describer. I'm saying the way that you explain these games, the way, the impression that I get from how you have described them is, Jesus Christ, I would rather die than look at us, than smell a Saga game. If I caught a whiff of one, it'd be like a fucking skunk.
So, John, you played Scarlet Grace yet?
No, I'm not. I haven't started them yet.
Oh.
I did play a different kind of. I mean, we can go into it if you want.
Go for it. Let's go.
It sounds like an 8 out of 10.
So y'all remember last time when I said I was going to finish Suikoden 2, and that it was probably going to disappoint me?
Oh, yeah.
Was that just the last episode?
That was just this last episode, yeah.
That was just the last episode. I finished it. It disappointed me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, I
don't think I've ever seen you in quite that kind of mood on Twitter of just pure anger mixed with resignation and defeat.
Did you dislike it because it was too comprehensible?
No.
Oh, God, no.
No, Suikoden is actually just really bad, but people have been fooled into thinking it's good.
Because it, like...
That's a game. That's a game I'd be. That's a whole conversation I'd be interested. Is like games that you were tricked into thinking were really good forever.
Like 1 and 2.
Sonic CD.
Mana.
No, Sonic CD is great, dog. It has 2 different soundtracks. That makes up for everything else.
Every Pokemon game. Every Pokemon game is my submission to that conversation.
Sonic CD has like 6 soundtracks because you can travel time and the music changes.
Yeah, cool. Does it
fucking
have
awesome.
levels?
Hyper Light Drifter.
Oh, no.
Ooh, Hyper Light Drifter. Oof. Big oof.
Fucking admit it. Okay, but there's a bunch of little indie games that got like kind of were darlings that really annoyed me. But like as far as like old JRPGs, Suikoden's the worst of them. Like I would much rather go back and play Secret of Mana than this.
Like you would rather suck a tailpipe than play Suikoden again.
But John, Suikoden 3, that's the good one.
That's the good one.
It really ties it all together. The vampire comes back.
Oh my!
He's better than ever.
You're thinking Castlevania.
No, there's a Suikoden vampire.
Why?
Really?
You know what? Alucard is all we need. At some point, someone needs to make legislation to say vampires in video games, no more.
We're
Castlevania, done. And now Bloodstained. It's enough. We're done. We've had enough.
No, we need Arapel has a great vampire.
Is it?
I love Lord Nash.
Lord Nash. Everybody loves Lord Nash.
Everybody loves Nash. So I finished. You recall that I finished Suikoden 1, and I really, really hated the ending because it was very bad and anticlimactic. And then I was like, let's keep going to Suikoden 2 because that's the one everyone says is good. let's keep playing it. And that was a pretty good first couple hours.
Number 10 on SocksMakePeopleSexy.net's generational
10.
list, by the way. Tied with Parasite Eve and Chrono Cross.
My God.
Just a reminder, just to catch everybody up to where we're at on that conversation.
So I continued playing it for like 30 hours, and it got completely boring and bad and awful and boring for the whole time. And I got to the end, and I was like, okay, let's see how this compares with the first game's very bad and anticlimactic climax. And then it had a very bad and anticlimactic climax. It was just the pits. It was the same fucking thing where you just show up at a castle and then fight a completely inexplicable end boss. And it was actually weaker, I think, than... Okay. If you do the true end, then it's better than the first game's ending. If you don't, then it's definitely way weaker.
I'm pretty sure you're talking about Castlevania. I think you are, and you don't know.
So Suikoden sucks a lot. It was it was like that main creator's like first project, and he was told he submitted Suikoden 2, which is like the thing that he had been working on, presumably since like for a while. It feels like a thing you wrote in high school and then got really attached to, basically. Mm-hmm. And then he made Suikoden, and then they were like, "No, don't make this." And he's like, well, let's make a prequel to it. That way I won't have to waste the work I did making this one story. And then they made Suikoden 1, and then they got to go back to Suikoden 2, the golden great story. And it's actually a lot less comprehensible and a lot less well put together than the first already really mediocre game.
Oh,
That's weird. It sounds like that would have been right up your alley.
Oh my God, shut up.
I'm sorry, you said not comprehensible as like a fucking...
It's completely different. It's completely different from Saga. It's a different kind of thing. It's a different kind of bad.
Saga is non-comprehensible gameplay. This is non-comprehensible story.
This is It's not like Xenogears, though. It's very easy to understand everything that's going on. It's just completely incompetently made. There's no thread you can latch onto emotionally. There's nothing that works
with Saga, it's easy to believe there is purpose. Somebody made this on purpose.
There's a vision there in
There's
Saga.
A vision, and even if it's not executed on perfectly in a way that would make sense to a lot of people, there's a clear vision there. Whereas when you go to Suikoden, big oof.
It feels like a serial like web story this guy was posting. For like, if it was that, it would be endearing, because then it'd be like, oh, that's cute. That's cute. If this was a web comic that he made in high school, it would be cute. But it's a professional like $80 PS1 game. Yeah. And it's not, and that people inexplicably adore, and it's not cute. And do you think the gameplay?
It's not cute. It is not cute. I'm going on record. It is not cute.
Do you think the gameplay makes up for any of these shortcomings? No, because the battles are dirt easy for the entirety of both games, and the dungeons are all straight lines whenever they have them. The only parts that ever get demanding at all are the event flag puzzles, where you just have to run around town and find the right place to trigger the next cutscene. I just hate these games. I just did not stand them at all. Suikoden 1's better.
That's the amazing part, is the redemption of Suikoden 1.
Yeah, that one's... Suikoden 1's alright. Stop there.
Hey, John, would you bump your score for it up to a 6 again?
Oh, man.
I'm glad that you hate Suikoden so much, and but I want you to understand that I am infecting you, because when I said that when I compared these to Saga, you said it's a different kind of bad.
Oh, God damn it.
So that's implying they are bad, but they're bad in different ways. Dude, give me another 3 years, you will fucking hate the Saga series. Mark my goddamn words.
I will not hate Saga. I came close.
Motherfucker.
I came close like a couple of years ago, and then I turned back around and was like, I figured it out.
Was it that Romancing Saga 2?
I think it was I played Romancing Saga 1, and I was like,
right, yeah, 1 sounded rough.
It's just rough. It's the same
you did the video on?
Yeah, it's the same basic vision. It's it's just rough. It's kind of ugly, and some of the systems aren't all there. And I kind of feel like I'd be ready for it now, or at least after I play 3. But at the time, it was a rough transition from like the Game Boy games, which the first 2 are real good.
That's the one with like random battles like every 4 steps.
It was the one with battles against. It was the one where you run into enemies on the field on the Romantic Saga, but there's just 100 of them. There are so many, and they just walk straight towards you no matter where they are on the map. So they all clump up.
That's misery. That's like baby's first RPG maker making enemies in the overworld mistake.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very clunky. 2 is a lot better. 3 seems really cool. Now that I'm playing a version that doesn't, basically on the phone version of 3, the camera was just hitching like for like a couple frames when you were walking. So just moving around the maps was like stuttering. Yeah. And once my eyes noticed it, I couldn't unnotice it. I tried. But I did play I finished Suikoden 2 and I was like, I really want to keep playing PS1 RPGs because I'm sad. But I don't want to play more Suikoden because I'm going.
Because you don't hate yourself that much yet.
Because I was going out of town for weeks and I couldn't play the PS1 Suikoden visual novels on my Vita.
That was the craziest thing. Okay, John, somebody begged you, said, "I'll play afterward if you don't play the Suikoden thing," which is like.
Go ahead, Britt.
That's like a really shitty guilt trip of like, I'll play your game if you don't do this other thing. Because they should have already played afterward.
Yeah.
But the fact that a day, not even the full day after, you were so mad at Suikoden 2, just so mad and angered and disappointed by it, you were like, oh, but this visual novel might be good. Like, it got you back in, not even a day later. So I was like, maybe an intervention is needed.
Yeah, I did not take it poorly.
That was just hilarious to me. Because I was just like, you didn't threaten to play Suikoden 3, did you? And you're like, no.
No, that's like 60 hours long.
But definitely another Suikoden project, so you were like half right.
The visual novel is only like 7 hours long. That's not it's not a ridiculous thing, I think. And it stars the cute vampire girl from 2, who's like one of my favorite characters, along with a nobleman named Nash. So literally, it's about.
Oh my god, it's a shared universe.
I know. So, I did want to play another PS1 RPG, but I didn't want to play fucking Suikoden or something shitty like that.
Xenogears is right there.
Xenogears is like 60 hours long, and that's also
not shitty.
I did say not shitty, Polly.
Well, I was kind of going with the joke there because I think I'm the only one on this podcast that actually likes Xenogears.
I'll try it some.
No, I love Xenogears.
Oh, okay. I've got to come.
It's one of my favorite games. Like, genuine. Like, it's really good.
Yo, we can finally get rid of John.
Actually, one of my favorite parts in that whole game. I'm fucking with you. I've never.
Okay. Good.
God damn it.
Damn it! That was really convincing. That was me level convincing.
I'm really good at lying to people.
You are Dark Side Phil.
Come on, dude! Dude, he fucking don't jump! He fell in the lava and died! Come on! It's fucking bullshit!
Pressing buttons. You're pressing buttons!
Dude, I'm fucking pressing it! Come on, dude!
John, you played another RPG, you said?
I did. I wanted to jump into a widely beloved series. I played Legend of Mana.
Yo, that game's good.
Yeah, it is good, isn't it?
You finally played a good video game.
I know.
It's been like 5 podcasts in a row. 5 podcasts in a row of utter abject misery.
I played Dog Shit Simulator the other day. I think you guys are being a little rough on it.
So, Legend of Mana, it's the 4th Mana game after Final Fantasy Adventure, which I loved, and Secret of Mana, which I didn't love, and Trials of Mana, which I haven't played yet. That's a yet now. But Legend of Mana is very different from Secret of Mana. It's extremely non-linear. First off, it's presented with like sort of a beat 'em up style perspective where it's very side view on like little belt stages. It's still like mazy dungeons, but the perspective is really neat and kind of different from an RPG, and all the battles are on the actual field.
This is the second time I have heard that term in 2 days, belt scrolling. I've never heard that before.
I've heard it a couple times.
I've never heard it before yesterday. I was watching the Coin Op Classic, and and somebody was playing a fighting game, and it was like, yeah, this is a belt scroller. And I'm like, you're what?
When I hear the phrase belt scroller, I just think of that part in Double Dragon where you fight in a Bobo.
Yeah.
And he's on a conveyor belt, and you have to trick him into killing himself.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
I don't know if that's accurate to this game, but I'm going to imagine that now because it makes me smile.
That makes sense. So I played this game for about 10 hours where I just had a completely good time the entire time. You start out, you basically put all of the locations on the map as you play the game. So you like build the world, and then you you go to each world and complete a quest, and then that'll unlock a new location that you can place on the map. So it's just completely non-linear. There's almost no like overarching story. It's just like a bunch of mostly unrelated quests. Some of them have like little threads that continue. Like this will make a new quest available you can do, and that continues the story from this quest.
The structure is almost a sensible Saga game.
Yeah, it's a lot like Saga.
Oh, that's my favorite European game, Sensible Saga.
Sensible Saga.
That was good. Wow, Rhett is on the throes of death over here, and he pulls out his best joke of the year. Good job, man. I'm proud of you.
So there's 3 main arcs that are just like quest lines, basically, and once you finish one of them, it unlocks the last arc, and then you can go the last level, and then you can go finish the game. And so it's basically just keep playing until you finish one of the arcs. Just play, just run around, just do quests, and then eventually it'll unlock the last level, and then you can go beat the game, which is a really cute structure, I think. Like, it's sort of like what I said when I replayed Saga Frontier earlier in the year, where it's just like, it's very unpretentious, where it's just wanting to make a bunch of little RPG levels without worrying so much about like a big grand story vision. Mm-hmm. And it works for me because I really love the writing. It's all like just very evocative. Like we talked, I remember when I played Soul Blazer, I kind of talked about how the text in that just they say a lot with very little. Yeah. And the localization in this is just very good. Mm-hmm. Like it's just very early on where you make the town by placing this artifact in the world map, and then you walk in, and like these sproutlings who are like children of the mana tree are just saying like the world doesn't exist until you observe it. And then a guy at the preacher is like, well, this town obviously has a rich history. We've been here for generations, and you just made this town by like throwing an artifact on the map. Yeah. So it's very dreamy, is what I'm. Yeah.
It has very like it's got all that Soul Blazer energy.
Mm-hmm. It also reminds me a lot of Kingdom Hearts, which kind of has sort of a similar vibe to a lot of the writing. Mm. And I think that I felt that vibe a lot because it has the same composer, Yoko Shimomura.
Yep.
Bless that woman's soul.
Yes.
Yep.
I will lie on a goddamn bed of nails for that woman.
Yep. I just played Street Fighter 2 last podcast, and that's her work too.
Yep.
And also just all the Kingdom Hearts.
I read an interview with Yoko Shimomura regarding Street Fighter 2. This is going to sound like I'm making it up, but I didn't. Mm-hmm. They were initially talking about making Chun-Li have a shorter life bar because she's a woman.
Yeah.
Because the 90s, and Yoko Shimomura was like asked about it for some reason. Yeah. Like, she should have been like, I made the music, what are you asking me about this for? But she made like some joke about like, I think she should have a longer life bar because women are statistically predisposed to living longer, something like that. Granted, I really would have enjoyed if she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I just made music. Why are you asking me about this?
Good shit.
Yeah, I read a couple interviews with her, and including one in the mid-zeros where they're asked, what's your favorite soundtrack you worked on? And she said, Legend of Mana.
Yeah.
I feel like this gets the most me across of any of the soundtracks I've worked on, and I was like, oh. And the music's real good, and it's extremely pretty. Oh man, every level is just like these hand-painted, pre-rendered backgrounds, and it's just very, very, very pretty and well done. So that and the music, and also the fighting feels real good, which is a nice change of pace from Secret of Mana. It just things connect nicely. I liked hitting things. I liked watching them explode, and they explode into experience points that you have to run around and collect.
And that always, like, I will always love a game that does that. That is one of those things where it's just like, that always just feels good with, like, when like a bunch of crystals pop out of something and you gotta go collect them, or they come swooshing towards you. Like, that is a game feel thing that I will love until I die.
I don't think it's exactly the same thing. But speaking of Shimomura, one of the most like exciting things to me in an RPG was in Super Mario RPG when you got the superstar and ran around and killed enemies rapidly, and you saw yourself leveling up. I'm like, oh my god, this is incredible.
That is, it's one of the coolest.
Just good feel.
Yeah,
absolutely. Games just need to fucking feel good. When did we get away from that?
And that's also a thing Kingdom Hearts does, which is one more thing that kind of drawing a line from this to that. Just sort of the dreamy writing, the very pretty Shimomura music, and then the fighting where just things connecting feels good, and enemies explode into experience points.
Yep.
And so what basically it happened for me is that I played for 10 hours and I had a really good time, and then I got completely stuck.
Oh no!
And I was just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And the answer was I was supposed to go back to all the different levels, and then I would find new quest triggers.
Oh, okay, I know. Yeah.
And I did not, and I didn't really do that. I just kind of kept going. Every time, I just kept going from new location to new location, and every time I'd find one quest, finish it, and get new locations unlocked. And then once I hit the end of that loop, I was just like, what? I have to think now?
Oh no! When that well dries up, it feels a little weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like you get to the point of the game where it's just like, oh, I bet I know where they realized they were maybe running a little low on budget. Probably need to reel things in a little bit.
Yeah. So at that point I was just like, and I tried a little bit, but I was just not feeling patient. So I just looked at a guide, I had done half the Jumi quest line, which is the one everyone likes.
Yeah.
And then I just did the remaining quests and then beat the game. And it took like 2 hours.
That's fine. I mean, like 12 hours or so, 12 to 14 hours
Feels
of that
right.
game is totally fine. I played through it twice because the first time I played it, I missed a few things. But I really liked that game back in the day. That was a game that, like, I bought sight unseen. Like, it was just like I had just gotten paid for working a summer job, and I was like, I'm going to go buy a video game because that's what you do when you're irresponsible. And I went, and like that is the game I picked up, brought it home. It was just like, oh wow, this is a fucking delight.
This is just very, very nice. I just like this a lot.
Yeah, it's just a game that feels good. It's got good atmosphere. Like, it does sort of have that end of the worldy kind of vibe going on.
Yeah,
but I think that what keeps it ever from feeling like, you know, like a down in the dump sad RPG or anything is just like the color palette of that game. It's just really, really fucking bright and incredible, and like the artwork that goes along with it. Like, I think that like that game's look and sound keep it from ever feeling kind of like ho hum. I'm playing a save the world RPG.
Yeah, you don't even really get that impression until like near the end. Like, oh shit, I'm like saving things. Like, I'm a hero. It's very chill. It's very unpretentious, which is very unusual for a Square RPG.
Especially when you consider that time, because that was the time of like fucking Final Fantasy VII, Xenogears, Parasite Eve. Just like, boy, there's a lot of pretension here.
Yep. And then there's just Saga Frontier and Legend of Mana. They're just like, we just made a bunch of maps that are real pretty. We made a combat system that feels pretty good. Just play it. Live in this jumble of video game we made for a little while. I hope you have a good time.
It's sort of a collage of a video game, if you will.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing I would almost certainly never make. Is kind of my thing,
because like I think that me and you both, me and you both are very like I am linear, probably to a fault. Like, I am that person that Final Fantasy 13 was made for.
My brain is just like complete, just very straightforward vision. Kill these 10 bosses, fight these levels. This is how I make games. So playing something like this that actually works for me, where it's just open-ended and you could maybe take out like an individual part and the whole thing wouldn't fall apart. It's a collage, like you said. I think that's really neat. And I think it's a very different, And I think it's a very different kind of open-ended vision from like when I was talking about Suikoden 2, where that's just like where it's just going forward and just kind of having these big portentous story beats without landing any of them. This was like even better than probably jumping into like a Trails game or something. This is like the opposite of that.
Yeah, it's the opposite of that in the best possible way, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a number of event flag mazes that I was just like, oh man, I'm real glad I've got a guide open for this one.
Yeah. I don't remember actually ever having an issue. Like, because I know, like, I was usually that person that would buy a guide and a game together just because they look good. Like, I did that with a lot of Square RPGs back in the day, and then it turns out that, like, their strategy guides are worth a lot of money now. But yeah, that was one of the games that I didn't buy it with. And it was just like, I don't remember getting lost or anything, or hung up on the event flags.
I mean, any quest is optional, so if you're stuck on one, you can just go do another quest line.
Yeah.
Can I mention the time that I got the most burned by a fucking strategy guide?
Is it Final Fantasy IX?
No.
Oh, wow.
It's a game fewer people care about.
It's Final Fantasy IX dunk. Continue.
No, it's a good game. No, I was making fun of the fact that nobody gives a fuck about Digimon World except me.
Oh.
And I'm gonna convince all of y'all motherfuckers it's a good game someday. Even though it's not. It's definitely not.
It's definitely not.
I got the strategy guide as a kid because they were like, yeah, this game's really confusing and not that good. And I'm like, I'll take it. So I get the strategy guide for it. And I am not so each little area is segmented. Like there's the dino area and the fucking the factory area and the mansion area or whatever. The mansion area, which is definitely like Resident Evil did well. Let's put a mansion in our game too. And there is an entire section on the factory area that is like blocked off, and it says, there are secrets even we don't know about in the game. And I'm like, go fuck yourself.
I have the guide for Lunar Silver Star Story Complete that is the same way. When you get to like halfway through the game, it starts becoming real fucking hazy about what you need to do or where you need to go. And they're like, we're doing that on purpose because we want. It's like, motherfucker, people bought the guide.
I bought this for you to tell me what to do.
Yeah. And then and then there's like this immaculate guide that Working Designs did themselves that is like step by step, literally one tile at a time through the game. And then but like I think it was Versus who did the other book, and it's just like it's in black and white and like it is so low budget. But then like you get to the ass end of that guide and literally just like, here's where you fight Galleon. Okay.
This was when I found GameFAQs, and I've never in my life said I was fucking supposed to do what? There are so many things I was like, well, thankfully the guy didn't tell me anything about that. Because when you give your Digimon items, occasionally it'll just be a fucking little brat and go, and won't take it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Well, you're supposed to scold it and then give it the item. That would have been incredibly useful to know at any point.
Is that game? Jetstorm in the chat wants to know: isn't Digimon World that game with the game-breaking bug that prevents you from moving on?
Please, Jetstorm, I do need you to be more specific in which game-breaking bug you're referring to in that game, because Jesus fucking quality control. That game, actually, I think that the European version, I guess you can get fucked up if you do a side quest out of order. You can also accidentally block yourself off from like completing the game 100% if you do a couple things out of order. There's a lot of also when you defeat a Digimon, they will join your city and they will each do various tasks, which is really cool. Like, it's a neat idea. You expand the city, you make item shops, you make restaurants that you can buy food for your Digimon, you increase the gym and shit. Well, you beat a dude who, like, creates a jukebox in the city, and it's like, hey, listen to the music in this game, even though there's only like 5 songs, and the rest of it is like ambience. But I mean, the songs are good, but boy howdy, a lot of it's just like, cool, crickets chirping, thanks.
Nice.
Well, if you use the jukebox, it will unquestionably crash your game.
Nice.
And I think it's all because of the localizers fucked it up. Because they, like, you can tell when you're trying to move through the menus that, like, the text is getting all, fucky.
Oh,
and,
no.
Like, it's breaking out of the text box, and I'm like... And it's also got all these, like, really awkward shortening. Like, the currency is bits. So when you're spending... Or, like, if somebody's asking you to spend a certain amount, they'll be like, that'll be 15 hund bits, H-U-N-D. I'm like...
What? Uh-oh.
I'm like, beg your pardon? Like, just put 500. For Christ's sakes. It's... And also, at some point, someone says 50,000 THOUS bits. And I actually was like, oh, maybe that's how, like, that's slang for 1,000. No, the localization just sucked eggs.
Oh, no.
But it's... I'm sorry, like, I could go on forever about that game. Like, I love it to death. I get a lot about it. And even then, there is so much I'm like, yeah, I have no fucking idea how this game works.
The eternal puzzle box.
There's a segment that I genuinely watch speedruns of, and, like, I understand speedruns are people who understand this game, they know it in and out, and all I can say on this one part, where you have to, like, manage a shop and sell shit and make a certain amount of money for the guy to recruit him, I always think, like, how the fuck did they do this on their first try? The RNG sucks ass so bad. You have to sell $3,000 or 3,000 bits, whatever, worth of shit to these customers and keep making a profit. If you increase the price too much, they'll leave. If you decrease it, you're not going to make enough money. You know, capitalism, fucking whatever.
It's recettear.
Absolutely. And if you increase the price and they leave, then you lose an additional customer. So you have to really fight with them, and they can buy 3 items. One is meat, which you can make like 50 bits on. Mm-hmm. The other's a portable potty, which is because the Digimon have to shit everywhere like little fucking animals, and you can make like maybe 300 on it. And the third is medicine, which you can make like 800 on, mm-hmm. and you have to make 3,000 bits. So anyone who comes in to buy meat for like 30 bits, I'm like, don't even fucking come in. There's no point in this transaction.
Yes.
This isn't helping me. If you play that absolutely perfect and you fuck with everybody and you make sure everybody walks out and has bought it, even if you do everything correctly, if you get a bad roll, you're fucked.
Good game design. It's like Saga. It's Saga. It's basically
10 out of 10. But I will shit talk Saga, but if you say a word about Digimon World, I'll bite your balls off.
John might like that.
Oh, well, I might too. I'm hungry.
Get them chompers warmed up. Oh. Okay. Anything else about Legend of Mana?
Nope. Game rules.
Game's good.
It made me figure out. It made me like this. Kind of figure out the storytelling voice of Secret of Mana a little better because it's the same director between all 4 games.
Yeah.
Like I still think that game feels bad, and I think it's like 5 hours longer than it should be. Mm-hmm. But like I get what they were going for better with the story. I think.
Right.
Which makes me like it a little better. Makes me less. Plus, I played Suikoden, and Suikoden's much worse than Secret of Mana.
Yeah. Like just by comparison.
Yeah. So I can see myself maybe trying 3 at some point now, or replaying 2, or I don't know. But mostly I just want to probably replay Legend of Mana in like 2 years.
Yeah, that's probably a smarter move.
Yeah, I know they're not great, but you know, it's cool that I've kind of opened my heart a little bit more to them, even in their jank.
It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah. Rhett.
I caught that, you motherfucker. That was Sonic Adventure.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going for.
piece of shit. I heard that. I was gonna say something and I couldn't think of the lyrics, and then you fucking said it, and it made me sick.
Why am I the one making the Sonic fucking Adventure reference?
Because Crush 40 kicks ass.
It's true.
Crush 40...
I mean, I incorporated "Open Your Heart" into my vocab because of Sonic Adventure. Like that is where that comes from.
I've incorporated "Live and Learn," and then I always want to say "Living on the edge of tomorrow."
Yeah, because it rules. Because Crush 40 rules.
It's fucked up that they managed to those fucking idiots should suck and be dead in a pit somewhere, but somehow they made music that's really cheesy and terrible, but also really good.
And spoke to a generation.
Basically, yep. Yeah. It is the voice of the voiceless.
Crush 40, speak truth to power.
Rhett, what you got for us?
Boy.
You have death and misery.
So last week was Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was good.
Bullshit.
Sorry. Basically, had the long weekend, and I thought to myself, boy, the one thing I don't want to do on this long weekend is play Pokemon the entire time.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to play something else.
Okay.
And
that was Pokemon.
It's fine. I'm hot and cold for it, basically.
He likes the girls, and that's it.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? I mean, the Pokemon, right?
Right.
Yeah.
More the girls. Let's be real.
Yeah, the Pokemon girls.
So I've always thought socksmakepeoplesexy.net, the only site where liking Half-Life 2 is a controversial opinion. Meanwhile, continuing that, the Sockscast podcast, the only podcast where liking Doom 2016 is going to be a controversial opinion.
Yeah.
I played Doom and it fucking rules, holy shit.
What?
I heard that game kicks ass, Paulie.
That game kicks ass. Paulie and John don't like it.
I only played like the first 3 levels.
You know what? Maybe it's because I played the PS4 version.
Oh, fuck. I have a PS4. Now I'm going to hate it when I buy it.
I'll just send you my copy.
Thank you. I'll steal it.
I think for Polly, it's more like she's an old school Doom fan. Played, shitloads of Doom 1, 2, 3, 64,
Yeah, like I played the shit out of those games. Yeah, this is a way different thing.
Yeah, this is the first one I've really played and enjoyed. It's like, oh, I like this, but it's clearly like they were targeting a different audience with this. Like, it's definitely much faster, simplified systems, but remember when I was talking about this on...
So stupider people.
Yeah, this. Oh my god, this is like stupid brain candy for people who just want to shoot guns, basically.
So, Polly, you want my address now or what?
So yeah, God, it's all blurring together, kind of like this game where it's just
it's just a blur of awesome, right?
Yeah, it just feels. I think the game feel in this game is extremely good. And you know what I said about Dishonored, I will say again here, the murder's real good in this one.
Well, yeah, like the murder's real good in a Doom game. I would hope that it would be. Like the kills are great.
Like the kills in that game are insane, and then when you get those later guns, like the what's the big, like the Gauss gun, the laser, and like the miniguns, like, and the fucking BFG, like
the Bioforce gun.
Shit just fucking explodes, and just like their entire upper torso is just gone, and it's just like you see all these little bits and bobs fly everywhere, and they're just these 2 legs are left standing there, and they fall over. It's a very, very violent game.
Oh yeah,
like in Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, but with more blood,
with more murder, actual murder.
Much more blood and guts and.
You guys haven't played Ratchet and Clank in a while. That game was fucked up.
I played the PS4 Ratchet and Clank. I thought it was delightfully mediocre.
Yeah, same.
I liked when Captain Quark told me Ratchet can't breathe underwater. He needs to come up for air, and I'm like, look, I know you ostensibly think I'm a kid, However, fuck off.
Go.
So, I guess my problem with Doom is that like the levels do maybe start to blur together a bit towards the end.
That was kind of my issue. Is that I hated the level
Yeah.
design in that game being just like it's
Arenas.
arena.
It's all arenas.
Yeah, and then like
Like,
there's
there's a
real
few
bad platforming too.
I didn't have too much trouble with the platforming. Again, that might be
That's a PS4 thing, maybe. I think.
a mouse and keyboard thing. Like, yeah, like the speed with which I was able to, whip around and shoot guys, like, felt very good on mouse and keyboard, Way
If you have
faster
to use a
than-
mouse and keyboard to play a game, then it's work, not a game.
Oh, God, shut up.
Jesus
wow.
Calm down, Grandpa.
We finally got Phil Fish on the podcast. I can't believe it.
No.
I'm cancelling Phase 2
I
because
know
all
who
you
you're-
motherfuckers, they said it was bad.
Phil
I'm
Fish
British now.
He's not British.
I fucked Phil Fish and he screamed like a fucking limey.
Okay.
Don't worry, John. I got that reference.
Okay.
I don't know. There's not a whole lot to say about this game, I guess. It's just the shooting's real good. What?
That's a funny sentence. I was laughing because it was funny.
Okay.
They're shooting real good.
I mean, that's the game. It's the
Yeah,
game.
the game
Shoot
is all
demons.
shoot. The game is all shoot.
Yeah.
Like, if there's anything that it lives up to with the Doom name, it is all shoot.
It's all shoot. Oops,
Would you
all
say-
shoot.
Does
Oops,
it
I'll
shoot-
shoot.
Oops, I shoot my pants. Would you say it shoot real good?
It shoot
It
real
shoot
good.
real good.
10 out of 10. Gave it a year.
Yep. So, I played one other game during that weekend where I was just like, definitely don't want to play Pokemon. I played a Need for Speed game.
What?
Okay.
Yeah. So, Thanksgiving, all the stores, they do their sales and all.
Yeah.
So I went on Origin for some reason.
Wow.
I was like, okay, guys, you're probably also having a sale, and everything on that store now is like, this game is included free with your Origin Premium subscription. I'm like, fuck off. So it's like, you can get 1 month for $5, or you can just buy the game for $5 if you want. We don't really want you to do that, though. We want you to subscribe.
Like, they gave me a subscription. They just they just signed me up for it because I had an account from Mass Effect 3.
Yeah. So I played Need for Speed: The Run, which is
Oh wow, that's a banger. That's from a while ago.
that's the 2011 one.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even current gen. I was going back a bit. I've played Need for Speed games newer than this one.
Yeah, I know.
Which is kind of funny. The reason I was always kind of curious about this one is because it gets rid of... It's all street racing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you start the game in California and you drive to New York, and that's the entire game.
Yeah.
And it's not looped tracks, which I've never been a huge fan of. So it's like it's taking a style much more like the very original 3DO Need for Speed game, which was my favorite.
Mm.
Except this one is also like trying to be a big tough action movie. So it's like every single race is like, you've got to gain 10 places, or da-da-da-da. The music's just kind of always in your face.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's going at 11 like the entire game, which is a bit exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also only like 2 hours long, so it's okay.
That's kind of...
Like it's trying to be a movie basically, and I think they made a Need for Speed movie a couple years later.
Mm.
God, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw it. Wasn't it? That was Jesse from Breaking Bad was in it too.
Oh God, he was,
remember
wasn't
that.
he? Oh
That was
no.
the whole joke originally. Is that
He
drove
was
off
driving
into
off
Breaking
of the
Bad.
set of Breaking Bad into the Need for Speed movie.
Yeah.
Fucking right.
Well, I mean, he's made so many good... He's made 2 good career decisions, I think.
Would that be Breaking Bad and BoJack Horseman?
Yes.
Yes.
I was gonna... Alright, I was gonna say this, and now I'm gonna say it anyway. I wish I hadn't. He should only take roles that start with the letter B. This has been brought to you by Sesame Street, I guess. I don't know why I thought that I should say that, or why I thought it would be entertaining.
You're so
That's like-
resigned about this joke.
I'm the
It's like-
IMDb
this is
trivia
like-
of pointless bullshit. Did you know that Breaking Bad and BoJack Horseman both have Aaron Paul and have the letter B?
Hey, as someone else who has jokes come to his brain and then just goes like, "Welp, gotta say it now. I'm sorry, everyone around me." I appreciate that.
What I should have done is sputtered and said, "No, you're good. Keep talking." I should have just stammered and been like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't have anything." The only thing funnier that would have happened in my brain, other than that joke, was an aneurysm. Jesus Christ.
Speed for speed. How'd you like Speed for Speed, Brett?
It's fine. There's a few QTE sections in the game which are pretty awful.
Okay.
This game it starts with one.
Oh wow!
So it's just like you getting in a car. Like, there's a whole side plot with like the mob is after you. So like the game starts with you getting in a car crash and having to mash Y to get out of the car. It's real fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Luckily, there's only like 3 in the whole game.
That's
but
good.
Like,
introduce your game with something you're only gonna do twice more.
Yeah,
that's
basically.
very funny.
They're like, for the first time ever, you get out of the car a couple times. But I really like the whole journey from, West Coast to East Coast America, and like how the scenery changes kind of more gradually than I thought it would over the course of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like Las Vegas, for whatever reason, is like 4 levels. Like, I don't think it's that big, you guys.
A little big for Las Vegas.
Yeah. Basically, I played like 80% of this game in just one go because I was just like in the mood to just drive for a while. And for some reason, the game tracks your entire time that it has taken to beat it, and my total time was like 2 hours 14 minutes. Like, it's not a long game.
Pity the poor souls that paid $60 for that.
Yeah, it's a good $5. It's a $5 not a $60 game. So basically, Pokemon made me want to shoot guns and drive fast cars.
Wow.
It's
like Pokemon has left no impression on you, huh?
I'll talk about it maybe eventually.
Okay.
Hold on. There's something I don't think anybody's really talked about with this new Pokemon. Do you guys fucking know they didn't put all the Pokemon in it? It's kind of fucked up.
Uh-oh.
No, we've definitely never talked about that.
Good, I'm glad. I just think it's like nobody's really mentioning it, and it's kind of bothering me. It's really made me upset.
Does it make you indignant? Does it make you want to send death threats?
Yes, I mean most things do, and especially this. Why can't I use the other shitty bug Pokemon?
Did they get the good one? The very, very, very good one from White Black? I should check that.
Oh, you'll have to be more specific than that.
The one John wants to fuck.
Scolipede.
Again, you'll have to be more specific.
I want Scolipede to fucking to scoliosis me and lay me out like put my body in an S shape and fuck me until I break in half.
Oh, Polly, earlier you made a joke about a Digimon named Lucemon.
Yes.
There's a fucking Pokemon in this game named Clobbopus. Yeah, I don't even have to say anything. You just get it. I was just like, wow, guys, you maybe want to rethink that one?
Is that going to be the Pokemon that they fucked up naming and you can't trade it online? Like a Cofagregis, which sounds fine, but then you spell it out and it's C-O-F-A-G Regis. And I'm like, swing and a miss, game.
God damn it.
Also,
Scolipede's not in it. What's even the point?
You can't it's like you can't say Saturday in Phantasy Star Online because turd is in the middle.
Well, I mean, you can't that kind of ribald language. Nobody's got time for it.
So I guess we're throwing it to Polly.
Yo, what's up?
Polly, what's up?
Yeah, we talked about collage games earlier when we were talking about Legend of Mana. I played a sort of a collage game just yesterday. So I've been following the development of a Brazilian developed game for a while called Skate Master Checo. It's TCHECO. And that game's coming out probably sometime early next year. I kind of got into checking that out because of the Blazing Chrome guys. They're obviously friends and stuff, and like Oniken has a cameo in I think also one of the Blazing Chrome characters are going to be in Skate Master Checo as well. So, but Skate Master Checo is a game that's coming out, and it's basically it's based on a character that's developed by he's an animator. He makes cartoons as well, starring this character. His name is Barcelo Barbosa. And it turns out that 4 years ago, he also released another Checo game that I didn't know existed until I went just looking. And I saw it on Steam, and it's $1 fucking.
99 cents.
It's 99 cents.
I couldn't believe it. Okay.
It's 99 cents. But yeah, I checked it out just because I've been interested in this much bigger game that was coming out. And I went ahead and decided to pick that up yesterday. Played through it. It only took about an hour and a half. But it's just this cute little sort of WarioWare of platformers kind of thing. Where it's just there are 65 levels. And they're each like 5 to 10 seconds long. And you just play them in succession.
Give me a link to this game. I have a hard on. This sounds extremely my shit.
Yeah, it's called Checo in the Castle of Lucio.
Links in the chat.
Yeah, it just dropped up.
I'm getting that.
Quicker than me.
But yeah, it's just like and it's a platformer. You've got to beat it in one go. You start out with 8 hit points, and you can get, I think, probably 5 or 6 more over the course of the game. And then like there are 3 boss encounters, which all kind of operate on the same gimmick. It just gets a little harder each time. But it's just a smart, fun little action platformer. Not going to take you long to beat. It'll be difficult. It is a hard game. But it's just really good. I had a lot of fun with it. It took me about 90 minutes to get through the whole thing, without completely dying and having to start over. But I had a really good time with it. It was just, hey, here's a cute little 1 hour. Like, it's not even 1 hour when you can get all the way through. It's literally like 7 to 10 minutes long. Once you know all the room layouts and once you've learned it. But yeah, like this is just a fun, cute. Like this is like another SWRJST moment where I picked up a thing and I didn't expect to have as much fun with it as I did because this is this guy's first game. And it was made by one person. He did all the art and stuff for it. There's a lot of varying art styles in this game, too.
Yeah, the trailer looked decadent.
Like, it just kind of bounces from style to style with just reckless abandon through each of these little platforming challenges that just kind of cruise on by. And, you either get through it flawlessly or you don't. You just got to keep moving on. And eventually you just get to the end and you beat it and you get a real dumb ending. It's real good though. I liked it. It's not a game that is built much on premise or built much on narrative, but it's got a real dumb ending cutscene that made me laugh, and I was like, okay, that's good. It's in the like I don't know anything about the Checo character himself, and I looked around and I really could not find any of the cartoons to like actually watch or anything. So, but you kind of get the idea that it's kind of like a Brazilian riff on Shin Chan is kind of the vibe that I get from it. But yeah, Checo in the Castle of Lucio. It's 99 cents, and I had a real good time with it yesterday. I just like picked it up, was not expecting to be as delighted as I was, but hey, that's a fun little thing. I noticed Rhett played it, and he probably quit because it was like, oh, this is not expensive enough.
I quit. No,
Jesus Christ.
I quit because it was too hard.
Oh, come on. I literally got through it. I got through it in an hour and a half. Come on.
I was sick last night. I wanted something extremely low impact. It's still... God.
Oh, that's upsetting. That's powerful.
I knew you were going to talk about the game, so I wanted to play it so I had some frame of reference, and it is good. It's cute.
Yeah, it's good.
Like you said, every screen has a different art style. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't really interested until you told me that until you mentioned that the structure was this was just a actual short action game you have to learn and play through. Like that sounds great.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say, Sam?
I asked why you played that clip from a Serbian film.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, boy, God, man, that movie, wow, how dark and fucked up. I'm like, whoa, cool. Yeah, I hung out with that kid in high school, too. Fuck you.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm still I was already excited for Skate Master Checo, which is coming out next year. But this just kind of okay, this guy knows how to make good video games. If this was like his first time out, like him doing something that looks like it's got a bit more of a structure going to it, I think I've got good reason to fully believe in like what that game is going to be. Since the trailer already looks good, like the actual gameplay and stuff already looks fun and cool. So yeah, like hey man, you could spend $1 on Steam in a shitload of worse ways, right?
Oh yeah,
like this, but this is super solid. Like I think that this game is for our crowd. I think that a lot of people that listen to us and a lot of people that are in our audience definitely dig into these smaller personal projects that definitely come from a place of I've always wanted to make this thing. Like the very much the vibe you get from this game is I've always wanted to make a video game and I finally did it. It's the vibe that I get.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
I love that.
So, yeah, that's Checo in the Castle of Lucio. That is TCHECO for the character name of Checo. Since we have to be searching for that. It's a little non-standard for what I think most people would be searching for. So yeah, that game's real good. I had a lot of fun with it.
I looked up Skate Master and I didn't find it at first because the game is spelled Skate MASTA.
Yeah, Skate Master.
It's like,
she pronounced it rather clearly. I think that was on you.
Yeah, that's kind of on you.
Well, I typed Skate Master and it was like Steam's like, I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, it's Skate Master.
Trailer looks real good, actually.
It really does. So, do you want me to hold my next thing we're going to do another round, or do you want me to go ahead and roll into it?
You can roll into it. That was a quick one.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one more thing that I did. Oh boy. So last time we were together, I played an Idea Factory game.
No.
And I try as I might, did not like it. So, what do you do when you play a game? This is like I've literally John Thyered myself, I think. What do you do when you've played a game by an entity who's just completely missed the point and dropped the ball so many times? What do? You go right back to that fucking well. They've got it this time.
You pig.
I played Death End Request, which is a hybrid visual novel and JRPG from our good pals at the old Idea Factory. Hey, what if I told you guys you could make a video game about video games?
Dude, that's fucked up.
That's crazy as dogs petting dogs!
Fuck you. Dude, turn this shit on. Cancel the podcast. You can't talk about that kind of shit. Twitch will shut you down. That's too meta, bro. That's like the fourth wall.
Just smashing it. The story begins inside a video game that was shut down, where main character awakens confused and only has memories of being violently maimed and killed. They're very vivid memories. It's surprisingly violent for an Idea Factory game, given that they really go into an explanation about how her head was pulled off her body and her spine was dangling. Boy, they just really went into it in a way that I wasn't expecting from the same people that...
I can't believe I missed this on the stream.
Yeah, I was like, John, you literally missed the part that you would be ejaculating over.
Okay, I'm
I can look it
not
up on
crazy,
YouTube.
right? I think you talked about this last time. You just hadn't hit the turn.
I didn't actually talk about this game last time. No, I mentioned that I was playing it, but I didn't mention anything about it because the turn.
You know what? You talked about Mary Skeletor. I'm sorry.
It's Idea Factory. They all kind of blur together.
Even this premise sounds kind of similar.
So, okay, so you've got your character, and then she is a video game character, and she's cognizant that she's a video game character. And then the other side of that is where we have the real world part of the game. This is where the visual novel takes place. And so this person...
Are you sure you didn't play this on Newgrounds?
It certainly feels like it to a certain degree, doesn't it? So a programmer for this game disappeared a year ago mysteriously, and then the game was shut down. Weird, right?
I hope he's okay.
And this main character receives an email from this person from a defunct email address that would, typically come from the game. So it's like, oh no, it's weird. Why is this game online again if, it was shut down? Because when people play it, they die. Oh, weird. We're doing that trope.
If you die in the game, you die
in real life. Yeah, it's such a unique and novel concept, right?
Yeah, I liked it in that shitty movie in 2006 that I don't remember except for that one shitty line.
Stay alive.
Oh, wow.
Man, I wish you were making that up, and I know you're not.
Nope, that was a full pull.
So eventually what happens is this protagonist in the visual novel is eventually pulled toward playing the game as the protagonist in the video game, and they're just like, oh, that's really weird. How we can talk to each other and are cognizant of one another even though I'm code and you're a person. Huh, weird. So the RPG side of this is your typical Idea Factory fare, so I'm not going to bother going over much of it. Other than that, the battle system has a lot of impact to it, and you can bounce enemies around and bounce them off of one another and bounce them off walls, and that shit feels real good. There's a lot of good impact that this battle system has that I feel that a lot of their games don't, and it's just because it's got that bump mechanic, but apparently that was not a new mechanic. It's probably from another one of their other games, which I was like, oh, okay, that makes that... The only other interesting thing is that you can spark new skills during battle, like Saga, where if you just use certain combinations of attacks, a percentage will pop up and be like, hey, if you do this, there's a certain % chance that this new ability will be learned. So that's kind of the only two interesting things about the battle system that you really need to know about. For the most part, the story in the video game is just your typical fantasy schlock. It's not really interesting. It only really gets interesting when they start mixing bits of, oh shit, something that happened in the real world is, happened in the video game. Or I found an item in the video game that should only appear in the real world. And, that's kind of, how they kind of tie these things together. But, everything else game-wise that has to do with the game world itself is immensely and insufferably boring. The visual novel portion of the game fares a little better because it's got some likable characters and it's got some fun dialogue, but it's not written well because it kind of bounces from event to event so fast that nothing ever feels like it has an impact. There's one point in the story where the protagonist is kidnapped and tortured, and the next scene they just gloss over it like it never fucking happened. We're just having breakfast the next morning.
Weird.
Yeah.
I gotta say, based on how they started the game with what's her name getting her fucking head ripped off, and then hey, let's have a torture scene. Someone was writing something for some reason, and I think I fill in the fucking blanks, everybody. Wouldn't it be cool if this woman got tortured again? It's like, Jesus, Satoshi, calm the fuck down.
So this is sort of like,
hey, Polly, is there more content like that, or is that just kind of one?
That was the
Jesus Christ!
This is how we get John into Idea Factory.
I'm gonna get John in the Idea Factory with just the fact that they dismembered their character once. So that's sort of a problem. That's sort of a problem with this game. This is sort of where things start to kind of break down. When I hit the halfway point of the game, both sides of this story just took a nosedive in a way that I was not expecting, because the visual novel side and the actual plot can't make up its mind if it's really gonna go into this horror and sci-fi shit, or if it's just funny fan servicey fluff. And the JRPG balancing got real stupid. So I hit the midpoint, and the game, this is the point of the game, about 20 hours in, where uh-oh, we are out of content. Hello.
Sorry, someone was I think someone's putting in a picture or something out right on my bedroom wall.
Oh, okay.
All right, continue.
So
could you hold on a sec? Can you politely tell them to shut the fuck up? We're talking about video games.
Podcast here.
Hey, why don't you fucking shove it up your ass, Harold? I'm talking about fucking games.
I don't know. The number of times I've played like Emiya at like 6:30 in the morning to jazz myself up for work on my computer speakers, I feel like they probably deserve it.
They probably got a few of those. So I got to the halfway point, and the game decided it was out of new content. So it decided, hey, what if we repeat all the dungeons you've already been to, only this time we're going to arbitrarily lock doors and hide keys all over so that you've got to go from one end of the dungeon to the other, because this is the way we've laid it out on purpose, because we are very clearly padding this game's content. And we've also sort of just jumped the enemy HP pools by 30% or more, so battles take 2 to 5 minutes now.
I like games that make me feel like a dog a lot.
So, when I reached the second dungeon in a row that did this, I honestly had a moment where I put the controller on top of my PC's tower, and I John Thayer cackled for like a minute straight. And I was just like, and I just Alt F4'd the game and uninstalled it. Because I got no patience for a game that 20 hours in still has no fucking idea what it wants to be, and it seemingly had only enough content for 20 hours. Here's fucking it. If you've only got 20 hours of content, make a 20-hour game and don't try to make a 40-hour video game, because you really fucked up with this.
Hey, remember Neptunia Rebirth 1? It was short. It was a nice short game.
The game was short, and even though it reused assets a lot, everything was still fast. It was still brisk.
But did it murder any women?
No,
I don't think so.
No.
That's true.
There's decidedly...
John is, like, knocking that against the game.
Yeah.
That's gonna take you down to a full star. If you want a full 5, they gotta be beyond recognition. That cannot even look like a body.
I better see a grease puddle on that floor.
Oh, Jesus. Nothing turns me on more than violence against women.
It was at this point that I realized, Idea Factory, we're done. Like, I can't anymore. I have labored for years, I think, trying to justify this company's output to myself as like, oh no, they've totally got it. They've got something that's totally beyond. And even fucking Fairy Fencer F, a game that I was bored to tears by, I finished. This, I can't anymore. Like, it's done. We're over. Like, even if you come at me with a mainline Neptunia game, I am waiting until I watch a Let's Play of at least 5 hours before I give you even a chance. Like, we're done. I can't... Like, you just keep giving them chance after chance, and for some reason, I thought there's something here when there's just very clearly not. I think that they make... I think that Idea Factory represents a time where we could have B-tier developers still be successful and still doing their own thing, and I think that that's fine. I'm not going to fault them for making the kind of games that they have to make, because I sincerely believe that they have to create on a budget. I understand that. It's just, I can't keep pretending that there's going to be something beyond a Neptunia for me when it comes to their output.
You know, some companies just make shitty games. I'm not certain if you're like gonna grasp. I think you might just. Paul, you're in an abusive relationship. Jesus Christ! Like, at some point, he's not good enough for you.
Oh, I've absolutely reached that point where it's just like, yeah, we're done with Idea Factory.
You say that, but I still hear a tinge of like, well, you know, I mean, if they make something that looks really good. Also, I also like, I'll watch a Let's Play and make sure it's yeah, but you're giving it that, you're opening the door. You're like, now
I'm only opening the door for a hate fuck.
Who isn't? Most people who fuck me hate it too.
So yeah, like with Death End Request, I think like I can't like like it was a real funny thing to come to the realization of like, and it's just like a realization that I have had so much sooner with so many other companies where it's just like, your games aren't for me. But this has been like, well, they had that real good run of Neptunia games that were fun and that kept me. And man,
how many of their games have you played?
I've played.
I've
played a lot.
Mary Skelter, Death End Request,
Mary Skelter, Death End Request, Fairy Fencer F. There was another one, Dark Rose Valkyrie.
Right.
Oh man, I've tried. Well, I think
you've given them so many more chances because I never went past Neptunia.
You made the wise and smart decision.
I beat the new one though, the Super Neptunia RPG.
That game is so bad. Like, how did you play? Like, I've tried like better. 4.
The first hour of that game is like the worst ever.
The first hour of that game is like just I can't stop the vomiting. It just won't stop.
But that was definitely my. Oh, maybe I need to stop buying these spin-offs moment. Like, even spin-off Nep is, like, so fucking bottom tier now that it's kind of bumming me out how far they've fallen from, like you said, those Rebirth 3 and 4, or Mega Nep.
Yeah, like
where
they are at now does not feel like where they were at. And we also have to look at the fact that the Rebirth games were also developed by Felistella.
Yeah.
That's something that I was not taking into account, is that the Rebirth games were not actually by Idea Factory and Compile Heart. They were done by another company called Felistella, who Compile Heart owns a vast majority of.
Mm.
And you can tell that there's not a lot of communication between these two because, like, Rebirth 3 in particular had a lot of really good quality of life improvements for those games, and that series where it's just like you could do really cool shit, like go into your bestiary with like the touch of one button to find out what enemy drops what, and it was real easy to know where you needed to go and what you needed to do at all times if you were like doing quest stuff and shit. Like they made that shit super fast, and then you go to Meganep and none of that shit is there. Because it was that game was internally developed by Idea Factory and Compile Heart. So they didn't actually take any of those lessons or any of that quality of life stuff. So, yeah.
Have you looked into the Felistella games? Like, they have a handful of other stuff after
I've looked, but I'm no.
It's not grabbing you.
It's not me. Yeah. Not for me, I don't think. I think that, like,
it's 2 strategy RPGs. Ugh.
Yeah.
You're right, Paul. Should give this company another 3 chances.
It's a different company, she just said.
Have you talked to your therapist about this? This is a problem. Like, look, I don't want to make light of real issues, but this is an issue. This is a real problem.
I mean, I talked to mine about Suikoden.
Oh my god!
Oh, fuck. Imagine, like, putting on a fucking bill. Imagine signing a check to your therapist and putting in the fucking 4 line, putting Suikoden and then a little winky face.
Winky face!
It's like, Jesus Christ, this is the easiest money I ever made. Yeah, PS1 RPGs weren't always good. Alright, that was a quick hour.
I can't. Oh boy.
The other thing about Idea Factory is that, like, I don't think a lot of the staff that made Meganep is there anymore. Like, the lead writer seems to be gone.
Yeah,
looking
at the credits lists from some of their more recent output, going back to Meganep, in particular, like, their artist is gone, their lead writer's gone. I think a lot of their key programmers have moved on as well. So it just sounds like a company that was kind of like a place to stop for a lot of people along the way to other things, is what
a
it
real
sounds
RPG,
like.
A real company.
Yeah, that's really what it sounds more and more like. And I just like their output now is just so radically weird and bad in a way that, like, it just didn't seem... Like I said, I finished Fairy Fencer F. I don't think Fairy Fencer F is terrible. I think it's boring. But I don't think it's a terrible or a bad game. I think that there were smart decisions in its battle system, and there was some genuinely funny writing in it, but it ultimately was a boring game. With this, it's just like, you want me to what? I'm not doing that again!
You're really selling me.
Yeah, I'm trying to, believe me. Yeah, Death End Request. Super good. Look for it on my Game of the Year list, for sure. How about a 5-minute break?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. We will be back in about 5 minutes. Go wash your balls or whatever it is you need to do. We'll be back. Hello.
Hello.
I was just sitting here, being quiet. I didn't want to be rude.
That's fine. We were just playing music on break. That's what we do. Do you have your headphones plugged in?
I was listening to some of this music.
Oh. Okay.
He said something about the tunes being good, and I was like, "What is he talking about? It's quiet."
Oh yeah, then you unmuted the stream, and we're like, "Oh wait, there's tunes."
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck is this magic?"
That's magic. You can't do that. That's the what? It's audio and video at the same time.
Facebook's a great invention. I got on it while we were on break, and I found out 3 people died. Three famous actors died.
Oh shit! I know that a rapper died this morning. I know that Big Bird died a couple hours ago.
Renee Auberjonois from Star Trek. Something.
I think Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Woof.
So as soon as I saw it, I almost exclaimed, "Oh my god, Big Bird died!" And I'm like, you know, it'll probably really fucking pump everybody up. A beloved childhood figure's death. Hey everybody,
Welcome back.
Let's inject a little life into the party.
With death. I mean, what better way to inject life into a party than with death?
You know what? We're all of an age that, you know, I heard I saw an article. They were talking about we might finally be able to make ourselves functionally immortal, and the response was something like, "Millennials tell all you motherfuckers how bad we want to die, and you won't even let us have it." And I respect that.
Hi everyone. Having a fun conversation, so I'm gone.
I like that.
Yeah, about death.
That's great.
Death kicks that. Dude, death is badass. Nobody talks about how cool it is.
People don't talk about how hot it is either.
Dude, I would fuck death.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens in some Marvel comics.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I think that's the whole thing with Thanos. He's like, dude, God, fucking death would suck my dick if I ordered all these rocks.
So Sam, do you have anything else you'd like to bring to the table, or are we gonna push it back to the old Thayer?
No, I have some more dead celebrities.
Oh, okay. Let's just.
No, I'm kidding.
Let's have ourselves a good, healthy gut laugh about more dead celebrities.
Yeah, let me see who else is dead. Don Adams, the voice of Inspector Gadget, he's still dead.
Yep.
Died in 2001.
Yep.
Let's see who else. Hitler.
Very dead. Very dead.
Are we sure?
That.
That one's probably for the best.
Now, I mean, come on. Let's not say things we can't take back. I know.
Let's not speak ill of the dead.
Yeah, come on. Come on.
Little respect, Thayer.
Twitch,
Sorry.
ban him. Rue McClanahan, definitely dead.
Unfortunate.
Old and dead. God bless her dead soul.
Mm-hmm. Estelle Getty, also dead.
Oh, extremely dead. Crash Bandicoot trilogy. I played that game.
Hey, it's not dead.
No.
I thought you were going to say Crash Bandicoot was dead.
Crash never dies.
Crash is dead as a doornail. Coco is still alive, I guess. With her, does she? Remember when all you had to do to make a female a character was give her a laptop? And it's like, she's smart.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought. Yeah, I was thinking blonde hair and boobs.
Well, it worked for Donkey Kong and it worked for Crash.
Yeah.
So.
God, man, video game designers were horny as fuck.
And they really wanted to fuck animals. They really wanted to fuck animals. They wanted to justify that.
Who didn't want to fuck an animal in the 90s? And also currently, I mean,
It's 2019. Everybody's a furry. Come on.
God bless America. No, Crash Bandicoot reignited. That's whatever. Who cares?
Reigniting, referring to your seething lust for Crash Bandicoot.
God, I want to pull them little blue jeans down, see what he's got packing. He's so stupid. All the thoughts got to go to his dick.
He's kind of just naturally shaped like a dick.
Yeah, he totally is. He's just like, you just feel like you could I don't know, like if you rub up on his little like gingerly little sides, you could like make him come at a little head of his, and then he goes just. And every time he comes, of course, what else is he gonna say? Whoa! Fucking.
I quit. I'm done. This podcast is over. So you're playing the Crash trilogy.
Yes, it's a good games, and I don't know. Pretty good set of games.
I want to play them. I kind of liked Jak and Daxter, so I want to go back and play Crash at some point.
Absolutely. I did not really like the first Crash Bandicoot, and I replayed it on the Reignited, Jesus Christ, the Insane trilogy. Fuck.
Yeah, the Reignited thing is Spyro.
Oh,
yeah. There's not a fire pun in this thing about a fucking brain dead marsupial for some reason. I don't understand it. So no, the Insane trilogy I think is probably the best way to play the first game. I don't know about the second and the third. Some of it's really fun, like, but I don't know if it like is better than the second and the third game on PS1. The first game definitely.
The first Crash on PS1 is really rough now.
Absolutely, it's not the best, but it's very clearly they're trying.
Yeah,
they're doing their best. And it's something that has become charming. It was so charming, like, who the fuck couldn't have loved it?
Yeah.
And I also got the Reignited trilogy and played that. Again, really good. I think the issue that I had was the third game, like, is definitely the roughest of the three. It's like clearly created on a deadline. And the original one for PS1 in Spyro 3: Year of the Dragon, which I think I've tricked myself into thinking is the best, even though it's the one with the most like, hey, this side quest sucks. But
god, that was my problem with the Spyro series in general. It's like I always admired the breadth and the scope of the worlds they were creating on the PS1. Like, that's incredible, but I feel that, like, those games were weighed down by so many side quests and mini games that I hate because they're all timed and bullshitty.
In the second one, it's like, hey, we've come up with a couple of side quests, and a couple of them are repeated or whatever, but then there's cute stuff, like in the second one where the professor wants you to find his pencil, and Jesus Christ, that sounded really sad and not fun. The professor wants you to find his pencil. It's a fun little game. He gives you do this like trading mini game where he gives you an item and you have to find like set pieces in the level that you interact with, and you have to, I guess the challenge was like terrible polygons and trying to tell what the item you have is, and what the thing in the level is you're supposed to send it to. Like, you get a seed, you give it to like this potted plant. The potted plant creates a giant flower who spits out a rubber duck. The rubber duck you give to a little duck that's floating in the pond. Gives you it. I could go on. It doesn't matter. But it's cute. Like, you interact with the environment. It's fun. And then in the third one, it's just like, you know what game is fun? Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Have you ever thought about playing it but not fun? Here's our take on it.
Oh no!
Wait, the third Crash or the third Spyro?
Third Spyro. I'm jumping around like a
Gotcha.
Like a kangaroo. Speaking of which, you have to play as a bunch of different animals, and one's a kangaroo.
Yep.
And that one's not so bad. And then there's one that's a monkey who's like,
oh god, it's terrible.
They made it into like they improved the controls on it, but he was like a shooter, and it was they made like a shitty Doom level based on him, and it was the epitome of throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, when half of your game doesn't stick,
that's a problem with Crash 3 as well, is that it has a lot of those deviations.
It has a lot of those deviations and variety, but at the same time, like, typically they're fairly like, oh, cool, I'm in a plane in this level, whatever. And I think I give it more slack, probably because I played that game when I got out of surgery when I was a kid, so it holds a place in my heart.
Gotcha.
I got out of surgery. They ungayed me. My mom made me.
Oh my god.
My mom said, "You're gonna be gay if I don't fix you." So they sent me to the doctor, and they cut it out of me. Anyway, I love my mother so much and her wonderful Christian upbringing and how healthy it is. Anyway, So anyway, Spyro's a good game series.
Okay. I've got the mega take now. All right, Tiny Brain, Spyro, Big Brain, Crash, Thunder Brain, Ape Escape,
I like it.
Galaxy Brain, Jumping Flash.
Jumping Flash feels like a game that you would play at Chuck E. Cheese.
Galaxy Brain, Pandemonium.
I'm sorry, Ape Escape is Galaxy Brain to me, because I will tell you one thing. I want every one of those apes to give me a big hug.
Great.
I was driving my niece home the other day, and she's a baby. Her name's 2 years old, and she, let me think. What was she saying? Oh yeah, she saw my air freshener, and she said, monkey. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, you moron? Well, as it turns out, my air freshener's Donkey Kong.
Oh.
And she pointed to it, and I said, it's a monk. And she told me it was a monkey, and I was like, he's a gorilla, you dumb bitch. Fucking idiot.
Like you should. I hate these fake gamer girls.
Dude, if another typical fake gamer girl, what do you want me to buy your bathwater? Well, I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna fucking hate you. So I slammed on the brakes so you would fucking jostle some sense into that goddamn fat head of hers.
Jumping Flash feels great. It doesn't feel like a game you play at Chuck E. Cheese. Thank you.
I didn't say that's a bad thing. I mean, like, that's it. It's not a bad. That sounds really like I'm damning it with faint praise, but it feels like a giant arcade game that it's like, holy fuck, how am I playing this in real life? But it's exciting, and it's just, I wish I could clarify more. That's not a bad thing. Jumping Flash takes dick. But like, I just love that feeling of, it's a first-person perspective, and you're playing as this character, and it's this big world, and you're like, how is this possible to fit on a game? And
I'd love to imagine it being like, in one of those arcade cabinets where the seat is part of the cabinet and it like closes around you like the Jurassic Park thing, and you just step in and you're in Jumping Flash.
Yeah, and it jumps you when you jump, and it's like, oh, dude, that.
And it goes up through the ceiling. Yeah.
Hold on, stop the podcast. We're gonna sell this to Sony. We're gonna make
sell
millions.
It to Exact for their great Jumping Flash.
The great Jumping Flash revival of 2020.
Please,
okay, we're gonna make a new Jumping Flash for
revival.
We're gonna make a new Jumping Flash for PlayStation VR. It's gonna come with a chair that launches you into the ceiling.
Yes!
Thousands murdered today due to the playing of Jumping Flash.
What could have gone wrong? Where did it go wrong?
All their blood splattered out of the ceiling like they're Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street. So anyway, Spyro Reignited was alright. And then I had this planned. I was like, oh wow, that's so great. They remade Crash Team Racing. I love that. That's so fun. And I was like, I'll buy it later. And then I see, now announcing microtransactions, and I'm like, Activision, you couldn't fucking help yourself.
Like, they got two out, and they were jonesing.
Dude, it was somebody had a fucking needle in their arm, and they're like, fucking put him in there! It's insane. It's like a dog that can't stop pissing in the house. It's like, I'm trying my best. It had two great days, and it had a third really good day. And everybody's like, I'm so proud of you, Charlie. And then, at fucking 0 hour, when everyone's really happy, it's like, oh no, I can't help myself, and it just pisses all over the house on the fucking flowers and kills them with its fucking stinky ass dog piss, and it fucking ruins everything. Like, I'm sorry, if you release a fucking game and people love it and they're like, that's so great, you know what you shouldn't do is be like, hey, you know what people might like more? If you could spend IRL dollary dues on this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, they think, you know what we'd love more if we made more money?
Yeah.
Like, okay, look, I feel, I'm not going to say anything controversial. I think maybe capitalism's gone a touch too far. If you're going to tell me It's like, hey, you know, you can unlock all these fun costumes. I'm like, that's great. And they're like, by the way, we've now revamped the system so that you can, the only way to do this correctly is to buy hundreds of dollars to make Crash Bandicoot look like Santa Claus. Hey, I have a wild idea. Kill yourselves. I'm not buying your fucking game, you snake oil salesman. I cannot believe. I mean, I can believe.
I can believe it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm astonished that they couldn't help themselves. It's like Augustus Gloop going to like drink all the chocolate out of the fucking lake. It's like I can't help myself, Mr. Walker. I'm so fucking fat. And I cannot wait for them to finally get stuck in the tube, and the Oompa Loompas have to get their big fucking dish brushes to push his ass through it. It's so goddamn disrespectful. Like, I cannot understand how. I'm sorry, if you are in any leadership position in Activision and you're like, okay, what is the thing people make fun of us for? Yeah, you know, we're money grubber, whatever. Well, we made this great game that everyone loves. What if, a wild concept, we included a thing that everyone hates, that is only in existence to steal money from literal children? Wouldn't that be a great idea?
Fantastic.
And everyone in the boardroom applauded. And it turns out that game developer's name, Albert Einstein.
Yep. Damn.
So,
Albert got us again. God damn it.
That fucking shifty-haired little bitch.
Oh,
God,
what an asshole.
Sticking his tongue out on every college poster, on every insufferable cunt's.
Oh God, yeah.
Dude, no, it's funny because he's smart, but he's got a wild side.
He's wild and wacky.
Dude, you might as well put up a fucking poster of the Big Bang Theory next to it.
Buzzinga.
Yeah, but dude.
Oh my God, now we have to stop.
No, hold on.
No, dig the hole deeper.
No, you guys see the new episode of Young Sheldon or what the fuck ever probably exists?
Nope.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
We very did not.
Oh no, me either. That shit sucks. No, if you ask me to name 3 characters on that show.
Don't.
Name 3 characters on that show.
Horace.
We have no way of knowing.
I have no way of confirming this.
Blind Joe.
Uh-huh.
Inky.
Yeah, boom.
Nailed it.
Completely
Wow.
nailed it. We're all certain.
Yep.
I was a little upset when they murdered Blind Joe in the first season.
Okay, our good pal Iffy says that she put up a giant Dr. Wily logo instead. I think that.
Dude, I would fucking put up a Dr. Wily logo anywhere.
Yeah.
And then anytime a woman looks at me, I'd wiggle my eyebrows. They'd be like, "Oh, that guy's a fucking pest."
Yeah.
Do you think women react? Now, I know we're supposed to talk about Vimeo, James, but do you think women would react well if I wiggled my eyebrows at them more often?
Absolutely. Well, I can't think of anything that gets a woman going more than eyebrow wiggling.
Polly, speaking as a woman, if I wiggled, not me, you're the woman.
I'm
am
not. Very, yeah.
I apologize. I didn't mean to surprise you.
No.
I didn't. If I wiggled my eyebrows at you, how many times would you fuck me on a scale of 9 to 10?
16. 16
that's
easily.
off the goddamn charts.
Exactly. You need to wiggle eyebrows more often. That's all it takes.
Throw them eyebrows.
Are you just overcome with lust every time you get to the fortress levels in a Mega Man game?
Absolutely.
Just
can't
oh,
take
man.
it. Can't take it.
I always have to pause it, and I mean, and then I go clean up, and then we start the level again, and he fucking does it again. I'm like, God damn, you sexy old bitch.
Give me that wrinkled Peter. Slap it on up inside me.
You know, maybe sex was a mistake. So I do have a bunch of games that I've kind of wanted to play because I bought a PS4 oh my God, it was last Christmas.
Holy shit, you had it a year?
Oh my god, I fucking shoot. Well, I've been playing it, like, so I have been, but I also was like, hey, everybody, buy me PS4 games for Christmas. They're like, you're functionally an adult. And I'm like, the fact that they legally allow me to take care of myself is criminal. So I played through the Kingdom Hearts, the story so far, and I got to Birth by Sleep, and I'm like, I like it, but I'm just like, I'm also achievement hunting, and I'm like, okay.
That's a lot of Kingdom Hearts to be playing.
Oh, I know. Well, this was also like a couple months ago. I'm like, all right, let's take a nice big break, because I also bought Kingdom Hearts 3, which I've done incredibly well to not get any information on so far.
Nice.
I've avoided the fuck out of it, and I'm really happy. Please don't, dude. If somebody tells me Xehanort's in this game, I'm gonna be so fucking.
Aerith dies.
Please. Oh, what the fuck! Say psych right now.
I can't. I can't.
God, she.
I've got bad news for you. They're re-releasing Kingdom Hearts 3 next month.
Oh, I saw. Don't you know? Hey, guess what? Don't worry, I won't buy it.
It's DLC actually. They're releasing. They're releasing Remind. Remind is DLC. It's not a re-release.
You can play as the girl. You can play as Kyrie for the first time in 20 years.
You can play as Kyrie for 5 seconds.
Hooray!
Thanks, Square. Now, dude, the fucking SJWs at Square making me play as a girl for 10 minutes. I am so angry about that. You know, there's two genders, male and political.
That Story So Far collection has almost gotten me like 5 times.
Oh my god.
Almost! Because, the thing is, here's the thing about Kingdom Hearts. Secretly, it's big and stupid, right?
Yeah.
What am I known for? What am I known for loving? I'm known for loving big and stupid.
Wait, I thought that was my thing.
No,
that's why you had me on the podcast.
That's why I have him on podcast, because he's very big and very stupid.
That's not a nice thing to say.
It's not. It's really not. But Rhett's penis is also big and stupid.
Yeah, it's
Doom
stupid.
2016, big and stupid.
Doom 2016.
Stupid the bruise it leaves in your mouth.
See, but yeah, that Story So Far collection, it keeps getting cheaper. So it was it came out and it was like $50, and then 2 months later, Amazon's like, hey, it's $45 now. Then hey, it's $35. Hey, it's $20.
I bought this fucking thing on eBay last year for $30.
Yep.
And I, you know what? 1, 2, 3. Hold on, let me count vividly. R.I.P. Big Bird taught me how to count. 1, 2.
Shout out to the homie.
Shout out to my homie BB. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about 6 games, and then three interactive cutscenes because they didn't feel like remaking them again.
Yeah.
Got that, boy howdy. I was like, oh fuck, I could play 358 without getting it on DS. And they're like, hey, do you want to watch the cutscenes? I'm like, not really.
I finished Kingdom Hearts 1, and then I did go out and buy Chain of Memories and 358 over 2 days.
I beat Chain of Memories, and I got to the Riku story, and I said, that's cool, I'm out.
No, the Riku story is so good, though. And it's short.
I'm certain that it is. The issue I have is that card battle system can suck my balls. I have.
All right, okay. Here's my arc with it. I played Kingdom Hearts 1 last year. I liked it. I liked the story. I played Chain of Memories this year. I really liked it because I really, really liked the card fighting.
Jeez, how do you like the worst parts of everything?
And the story's good too. I really like Namine. So so at the current rate, I'll play Kingdom Hearts 2 next year, and then 358 in 2021, and then by 2025, I'll be caught up with Kingdom Hearts.
And then
they might have a new one out.
Yeah, they might have four out by 2025.
I wouldn't count on it.
Nomura.
This is what I'm saying about the collection, though, Polly. It's not about how much it costs. It's about the time it would take to play 6 games.
But I've played the Trails series. I've played 8 games in the Trails series in 2 years.
I just had a big brain explode moment where you equated Kingdom Hearts to Trails in some fashion.
It is,
and I'm angry.
They are comparable due to the fact that they are both ongoing narratives that are long and stretched out through various means and various forms of media.
Yeah, it's one continuous shonen manga, basically.
Yeah,
I think the writing in Trails is a little more consistent and thought out and planned ahead than literally anything in Kingdom Hearts.
Listen, I can appreciate these things for different reasons. For the same way that I can appreciate Final Fantasy XIII for not being this big, incredible, meaningful thing, I can appreciate it being big and dumb. I can appreciate Kingdom Hearts being big and dumb.
Yeah, I really liked how those two stories played out. I'm really excited to play 2 and really excited for 358 because I've kept listening to one of the new main lady in 358 lady character has a song that's very sad and it makes me like care about her a lot. So I'm like,
if you haven't guessed, John loves sad women.
Yes, Namine in Chain of Memories is very good because she's like she kind of does like sort of evil things, but she feels bad about it, and that's like, that's my everything.
Has that ever been used in a Japanese form of media? I wasn't certain.
It's good. I'm really excited for 2 eventually.
Is 2 the next one you're playing?
Yeah, that's the next one.
I have no idea.
I'm really invested in playing 2 now because I loved all the new Org 13 characters they introduced in Chain of Memories. I was like, good.
Hey, don't worry, buddy. There's a few more.
Excellent.
See, if the story so far hits like that $10 price tag, I'm probably in. I'm probably I almost got it this past weekend, but I was like, nah, man. Tales of Vesperia is probably better.
Give me your fucking address live on the stream. I'll send you the goddamn game, you cheap ass. Jesus Christ. Does anybody want to get Polly a Christmas present? A wink and a nod. Jesus, fucking dropping hints over here.
Oh, God, no. I'm really self-conscious about that. Please don't even joke about that.
Polly deleted everything off her Steam wish list like a week before her birthday.
Yeah, like, I really am against, like, that. Like, I don't ever want to feel like I'm asking for anything.
No, I get you.
Okay, no, understandable, totally understand. Okay. I, however, have no such scruples. I would like someone to, I don't have anything I want. You know what I want out of life? A good smile, a handshake, and a nice dinner when I come home.
Aww.
And titties.
Oh, absolutely. If you fucking bury my fucking face in some big old melons, I'll be fine. I ain't gonna complain about that, motherfucker. So what I was essentially thinking is I have several games that I'm not certain if what order I should play them in. Here, Mega Man Legacy Collection I can throw in the dumpster because I've played all of these games to a troubling degree, so I don't know why I requested being bought this.
And he did, you know what? Let's Plays on his channel. You can go find those. He played every single one of them there. Samurai Karasu. Look that up.
Yeah, every one of them but 9 and 10 because I didn't feel like figuring out how to capture card work, and then I stopped because I felt like I wasn't good at doing them anymore. And that's how I like to do things, and a couple people enjoy them, and then eventually I'm like, I'm self-conscious and not good anymore. I'll stop. And they're like, we miss you. I'm like, sorry, I'm too depressed.
Aww.
That's why I stopped writing. Spoiler alert, doesn't make me feel better seeing comments. They're like, hey, I wonder if you're ever going to finish this. And I'm like, I hope so, but probably not.
Let's laugh at our depression. It's better that way.
Hey, Polly, did you delete one of your unfinished Let's Plays recently, by the way?
Yes, I did.
Somebody, just so you know, somebody noticed.
Oh, who noticed?
Wait, which one?
Me. That's what I was saying.
Which one?
I was like, wait a minute. Didn't you delete Labyrinth of Toho?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it goes.
There was a technical issue with that one, though, that it won't let me finish it. Like, I would have to replay the whole game again.
God. It's a bummer.
I have,
I deleted my entire YouTube the other week.
Oh, no.
Just like, fuck it, bye.
I actually almost did that out of spite, and then I was like, but what about the people who enjoy watching this? And then the next synapse in my brain fired, and I thought, they've already watched it, and they've gotten out of it what they need.
No, because there are a few of your videos I actually returned to around Christmas time.
Oh my god, why? Christmas?
One of them came out close to Christmas. It was a video that you did with Fresno, that makes me fucking laugh every time.
Oh, I remember he was really fucking.
It was a Mega Man. It was a Mega Man and
territory.
Bass video, and yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Is the Dark Souls Let's Play gone now, Rhett?
Yeah. Literally, the channel's gone right now. I think I can restore it. That's a big think. I've got a lot of that stuff backed up if I ever wanted to, but the Kappa shit was like, man, fuck off YouTube, seriously.
Yeah, I get you.
I just assume my channel's gonna get tits up, and I'll be like, well, fuck it, I wouldn't do anything with it anyway.
Yeah, so long as they don't actually sue you for $40,000 per infringing video, you're good.
Hey, guess what, YouTube? Suck my dick. We're all poor. Who cares? I'm sorry. Does Google need more of my money? Okay. Go ahead. You know what? Google, do your worst. Fucking release my search history. I don't care. I like women with massive knockers. Everyone knows it. You fucking pigs. I don't care. I'm a fucking sleazeball.
What other games are on your list?
Oh, Nier Automata.
That game's good.
Game.
Top of the list. Top of the list.
I heard that's like a real 4 out of 10, so I figured I'd pick it up and just, probably kind of a waste of time. But I also feel really guilty because a friend of mine has bought me like really nice gifts. Like he bought me an anime series that I haven't watched, and a game that I want.
But see, that's the thing, is you shouldn't feel obligated when somebody buys you media. I feel that media is not an obligation. It is a treat for you to enjoy when you are in the correct mindset.
Yes.
I have not been in the correct mindset for about 2 years. I'm like, maybe I should watch that video on YouTube I've already watched 3 times. That'll be right. I live essentially in what is just a giant centrifuge. I'm like, maybe if I just do this again and I'll spin it around in my big fat brain, I'll be like, oh, I like that again. I'm glad he said the thing a second time. I'm like a human baby.
A human baby. Okay.
Yeah, I guess adult baby was the phrase I was going for.
This is relatable.
Yeah, the hashtag relatable content. I'm going to tell you something. Nier Automata, I heard so many good things about it, and my sister and brother-in-law went to get it for me for Christmas, and they said, we're going to buy you the special edition. We thought, you deserve something nice, and then we went to see how much it was, and it was approximately $1,000, and they said, you know what? Maybe next year. And I said,
love you that much.
Don't worry. Everyone in my family, when they open their gifts, they get the same message from me. I love you, but I hope you didn't expect anything good. Actually, I got my brother-in-law a Freddy Krueger glove signed by Robert Englund, which is really hard to do. He doesn't do a lot of conventions, so it's probably hard to get an opportunity to get him to sign something.
That's real cool.
Yeah, he got a Jason mask signed and hung it up in their new house, and I was like, we can't have Freddy without. We can't have Jason without Freddy, for Pete's sake. Pardon my French, but I think it's a good idea. And they also bought a copy of the Shining script that was, in as many air quotes as humanly possible, signed by Stanley Kubrick. And I looked at it, and it was also framed in glass. And the first thing I said to my sister was, what's the deal with the fake script? And she looked so disgusted.
Aww.
She's like, he bought it, and I don't know why he thought it was real.
Oh no!
Oh man, I've never felt smugger and happier that somebody made a bad purchase. I don't know why. I was really happy.
Just rub somebody's face all up in it.
I didn't even say anything to him because I feel like that's worse. Because I could have come up to him and like, that's clearly fake. Instead, I looked at it and then I just walked past it. I was like, yeah, the Jason mask's pretty sharp. But Nier Automata looks really good. I heard a couple things. It might be a decent game, I suppose.
It is a Sockscast game of the year. So
fuck off. No, the fuck it isn't. Those people are paid off shills.
You're probably right.
Big Games bought them off years ago. You can't trust their opinions.
Moon Pie bought us off.
Moon Pies.
Yeah, what a time to be alive. But yeah, I have Kingdom Hearts 3. Eventually, I'll probably play that. And all I've heard is a little bit of people being like, "This game's disappointing." I'm like, "Well, that's good. I'm glad I've already gotten my view." Well, some fucking idiot on the internet said it. Maybe it'll be good, or it won't.
No,
I've only heard positive. Like the people that I follow and the people that I follow are just genuinely enthused. Like, but see, the thing is, like, I genuinely follow people that are generally pretty. Like, yeah, they will criticize, and they do have smart criticism about things, but it's not always I need to be in criticize mode. Sometimes it's just like, man, this thing is real big and dumb and fun, and I love it.
Yeah,
and that's what I got from Kingdom Hearts 3, from people that I know.
I love big dumb. Me big dumb mad, but fun dumb. Yay!
There you go.
Sorry, excuse. I apologize. That was the other game I was thinking about. I thought I had a point, but I didn't. I never do. But my friend bought me something for my often played console that's not the PS4, the Wii U. Which if you I don't even know if it's still hooked up. But he got me Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE, and it looks so fucking good. It looks right up my alley. I think that the main the character that's allied with you is voiced by Sugita, the guy who plays Gintoki and Gintama, and I love that the boy. And I don't know anything about anime, so I sound like a fucking asshole. But he's the best voice actor. He's got this deep ass voice, and he has like a gaming podcast he does with another voice actor in Japan, which is where they live. Those anime boys.
Yeah, like Japanese people tend to live in Japan.
Dude, and the fucking liberal media will try and have you believe otherwise.
I know.
I'm glad this podcast is willing to say things that the Illuminati are not comfortable hearing. But apparently there was some thing where Tomokazu Sugita, this great Japanese voice actor, I guess heard about like some other voice actors bullying this dude that got a job with them, and he was like, "Oh boy, I'll be in this new anime," and they fucked with him, and they were like, "No, you're just gonna be our like janitor, and like you have to do embarrassing things around the world," and they humiliated this dude. And Sugita heard about it with these other voice actors pranking this dude, and they were on this big event show. And he fucking cold-shouldered and did not speak to the people who fucking goofed on this dude the entire time. And at some point they were like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they like patted him on the shoulder, and their hands slid off, and just zero reaction. It was so fucking smooth. Especially like Japan is so like shame-based.
Yeah, like there's a lot of conformity to things like that.
And the fact that he and he also had that dude like on his podcast, like some nobody, like some guy who was trying to get into the anime voice acting business.
Right.
And he had him on to like talk about his experience getting like fucked with by all these creepy Japanese weirdos. And that's super cool. So anyway, yeah, Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Yeah.
It has a character in it that's voiced by someone.
That's a good video game.
10 stars.
I saw somebody stream that game. It looked pretty good. It's like, hey, do you like Persona games? You're probably gonna like this.
And I think the only problem is it's also like, isn't the idol culture great? And I'm like,
oh boy,
bad idea.
Yeah.
You know what's really healthy? Idolization of the idols.
Oh boy.
What's that? You were caught holding someone's hand? Better shave your head and beg for forgiveness. This is okay, I guess.
Oh boy.
That's also, like, that happened in Persona 5, where, like, there's all those little moments of, like, which I love that game because it's so much, like, dude, fuck culture, like, fuck all these motherfuckers that are on... that game may as well have been subtitled Eat the Rich. That game's
got an attitude and a worldview I can get behind to a degree, yeah.
That game's like, hey, the rich and powerful are fucking up people and being real pieces of shit. Let's break their brains and make them sob for forgiveness, then slap them in the dick. It's great. I love that shit. Well, Persona 5 has this moment where you think that it's like saying something about this girl who wants to be an idol, but then it's like, no, it was just this bad cameraman. She's gonna, like, it's that sentence you always hear in anime where it's like, and I'm gonna try my best to be the fucking Oni-sama that you want the most in your life. And everyone's like, yay, she's a thing.
I love that we got a subscription right when you were saying that. Because it ripped a big old fart, and it was perfect.
Oh, you fucking animal.
That's good every time.
Just despicable.
Despicable.
I don't know why I'm like, dicks and cunts and tits, and you're like, I farted. I'm like, that's disgusting. That's...
So what other games are on your list? Let's speed through the last few. We've got to move. We got to move.
I'm sorry.
Not a problem, but let's go.
Wonderful 101.
Good game.
Oh, God damn. I really want to play that, but I can't.
Because
I had my Wii U taken from me. I'll never be able to play it unless I buy a Wii U or borrow one. Probably just borrow one. Continue.
I'm sorry. That was the saddest I've ever heard somebody about a Wii U.
I know.
I was a lot sadder when I bought mine. I looked at it. I was like, oh no. I just went home and drank a bottle of bleach. Well, I don't know. Like, I want to play Wonderful 101, but I also... It's the most first world problem of I don't really want to turn the console on and I don't want to get the big fucking stupid pad out and play around with it.
I completely understand that though.
It's just like I don't want to deal with this big clunky hunk of shit. And I also have Bayonetta 1 and 2 on Wii U. And
there you go.
These are amazing games. Why can't I just, I want to just get my controller out and play. I don't want to fucking drag my fucking pubes across this silly little screen and make her fucking wiggle her tits. And also...
That sounds like something you specifically would want to do, because it's you.
I would absolutely enjoy... I'd be like, oh my goodness, that woman's breasts moved. I would be... This is a fascinating game. And I will conclude the discussion on Bayonetta with this. Nothing's funnier to me than somebody talking to Kamiya or what the fuck ever and saying on Twitter something like, how do you feel about all the hentai about Bayonetta? And his response is, stop making her submissive.
That's so good. That's so good.
Fucking kill shot.
He killed it. Like that is the response right there.
Dude, he's fucking right. Like that's also like, man, Japan really likes submissive women, and so I think somebody in this call does too. But I don't know. I think that's fucking. I like women that are in danger. I'm like, I think there might be women in danger. Oh my god.
Kamiya is very, very, open about that kind of thing, as is Kotaro Uchikoshi, who does the Zero Escape games, and most recently, The Somnium Files. It's just you're seeing more progressive views kind of come out of a lot of Japanese developers that kind of, stand in that stand the opposite of some of the kind of the uglier things that we see from games like Persona, where we still can't quite grasp that LGBT people are more than just a joke.
Fucking Ryuji scene, Persona Royal would be a day one purchase if they're like, hey, you know that really terrible scene where the fucking the trans fellas hit on Ryuji? We cut it.
No, they're probably gonna double down on it.
Oh no, yeah, those are your new confidants.
Oh no.
And then they drop a big... if they cut that scene out, they should drop a mission accomplished banner, and then we should just play Born in the USA, and everyone applauds and buys Persona 5 Royal.
Cool. Anything else, or are we moving on?
No, I think that's all I've got to say. Thank you for letting me talk.
Hey, that's what... We have you on a podcast because we want you to talk.
Jesus, I thought you were like, shut the fuck up. This is a podcast. It's a library, not a fucking museum, you cunt.
It's not a library, it's a museum.
Yeah, I said that, and I was like, God, I hope nobody heard that.
What? The words are coming out. The words just fell out like such diarrhea, but here we are.
Yeah, a lot of people compare me to a lot of shit.
Yeah, like I have you in my phone as diarrhea. So.
Yeah.
So did my parents.
And in your mom's case, it's literal. Hey, John Thayer.
Hi.
That was a hurtful thing to say.
Speaking of diarrhea, so I saw Frozen 2 in theaters.
Oh no!
I know you all want to talk about this.
Oh boy.
So what's y'all's experience with Frozen?
I've not seen it.
That you talked about the first one a fucking lot.
Yeah, and you talked about the first one a lot.
In 2013 when it came out, and it was fucking fantastic. As we all know, Frozen was a great movie.
I took my niece and nephew to see it in the theaters, and I asked my nephew, I was like, I hope you like that movie. I know there were some girls in it. And he goes, that's okay. There were boys, too. And I was like, thank God you got the right message from that, you moron. I just really like those funny singing trolls. I would like to buy toys of those. Thank you, Disney.
I did see the movie. And then I got back, and I was like, can we? It was around Christmas. So I was like, can I find some like young niece nephew cousin to take with me, so I have an excuse to see it again? And then we did. We found some other people like, all right, come with me. We're gonna go see Frozen. Someone come see Frozen with me again. So I really liked Frozen. I didn't like Frozen 2. That's the new one that came out. I was very disappointed by the fact that I didn't like it. I saw it with a friend, but first, I just really like show tunes. I really like musicals, y'all. I really like good, fun Disney-style musicals where they sing about their feelings. And this is like, when I talk about Nintendo or Disney, I'm like, you can get this kind of experience elsewhere if you just go and look. There aren't really a lot of other places that are doing like big musicals are the thing. Like, this is actually something where, like, if I want kind of a Disney-style musical, there's not a lot of other places that are doing that kind of thing.
What about that Cats movie?
That's not what I'm thinking of, because it's not.
It looks pretty cool. Do they look just like cats? And James Corden's fat.
So that's one reason I was sad coming out of the theater. Is just like, well, Disney sucks at this now. So I didn't like Moana either. So I was like, well, I just can't get this anywhere. That's great. Except for Steven Universe, which, you know.
I was going to say Steven Universe, the movie, the closest thing to the big show.
Yeah, which completely nails it. So Steven Universe movie was really great.
As soon as you mentioned musicals, though, I'm like, Polly is just checking out for this.
I'm checked right the fuck out.
I know.
Like, I'm lost her with Frozen, and then he said musical, and it's just like, oh, bye, Polly, bye.
Yeah, of course, it's a fucking Disney princess movie.
Aren't you excited for 2 years from now, though, when they make a live-action Frozen?
I am excited. I actually have it on my calendar when they're going to start. They're doing it in Chicago. I'll be able to see a live production of the first Frozen. I'm very excited.
Oh no, I meant that Disney's going to make a live-action version of Frozen.
Oh, a movie. No, I meant the theatrical. They're doing it on stage. I'm very pumped about it. It's going to really do it.
That's the difference. That sounds good. Doesn't sound emotionally bankrupt and sad.
Oh yeah, I hate the live action remakes too. They're not.
Are they for real doing a live action one already?
No, that's a joke.
No,
okay.
I was cracking wise. I apologize.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised. That's why I was like, I have to figure out if this is true or not.
At some point, when Disney says we need more money, which will, tomorrow, I guess, they'll do it.
So the big thing with Frozen 2 is that it just feels like they didn't have the script. They didn't have it down. It does not come together in a way that makes any kind of sense. It ended like 20 minutes before I thought it was going to. It's one of those. Do y'all mind spoilers too much here for Frozen 2?
Give no fucks.
I will hang up the call if you spoil Frozen 2 for me, you motherfucker.
Well, I'm all right. Better mute for a little bit.
Okay, don't spoil the Kingdom Hearts 3 tie-in stuff.
No, I don't know how that
I thought that was really weird in Frozen 2 when Sora showed up. He's like, hey, I just fucking hit something with a key. And she's like, see you in the video game. And I'm like, this is very bad product placement.
I'm very excited to play Kingdom Hearts 3 and see the Frozen stuff because I love Frozen. I listened to the soundtrack a bunch.
I think Kingdom Hearts 3 is the canon sequel. This is just kind of a weird non-canon spin-off.
Oh yeah. So it starts off, everything's great. They sing a song about it's exactly like the beginning of the Steven Universe movie. It's probably a ripoff. They sing about how everything's great, and then
they're in the future.
And they're in the future.
With a song, it's a ripoff.
And Elsa hears a voice in the distance. And it's calling to her, and then she's trying to ignore it because it's like this singing voice that nobody else can hear.
Oh, it's her homosexuality.
That's
just Disney ignoring her homosexuality.
That's a pretty good read.
Oh, damn!
It's pretty much the only way you could conceivably read it.
Oh,
really?
wow!
Considering how strong the queer subtext is in the first movie, that's...
Hold on Now, you could read it like that, or you could read it like the other people, where they're like, dude, I think those fucking sisters are fucking, bro. Those fucking sisters are fucking hard for each other. They want to fuck.
That's really hot. That's really the offensive thing here, is that it's the 2 whole movies, and Elsa and Anna still haven't kissed yet. But no, really.
That's in the Japanese version.
Fill it up. Keep talking.
So she's called, and she's terrified that if she follows this voice that only she can hear, it will ruin the stability she's brought for herself.
Oh no!
And she's like,
wow.
I won't listen to your siren's call. I don't want to. Is there someone else there like me out there?
Oh,
just like, oh boy, this is real on the nose. And then she does. She decides to leave, and she goes, and in the process, it's the voice of this enchanted forest in the distance, and there's some lore attached to it. So they're all going on a quest, and there's a bunch of other nonsense with the side characters that doesn't go anywhere, and Anna doesn't matter. And ultimately she's just like, Anna's trying to keep her sister's trying to keep her from following the voice further, and she says, no, I have to, and she runs straight headlong into the ocean, which is in the big trailers, and it's very heroic and triumphant. And then she tames like the water spirit, which is this horse made of water. It's very beautiful, and she rides it into this enchanted cave, and she sings a second coming out song.
What the fuck are you talking about? A water horse? She jumps in the ocean. She's like, I'm gonna tame the water horse. Was this a fucking what the fuck happened between the first and the second movie? This sounds
ice powers. God, it's in the movie. She can tame water horse because she has ice powers. It makes sense.
Why is there? Tell me in 2 words why there's a goddamn water house. I'll go down on you.
It's the water spirit. There's 4 spirits. It's extremely poorly explained. It's not fleshed out at all. It's not even it's not Final Fantasy. It's not Avatar, because it's not fleshed out enough to be that. It's like this really half-baked lore that I'm not talking about because it doesn't matter. And so she gets to the island, and then she sings another coming out song, and Idina Menzel is just spewing out like this incredible, beautiful melody. Show yourself to me. What am I? Tell me who I really am. What is this? And then she finds her dead mom, and she finds out that,
what?
and then she finds out that her grandfather did a colonialism, and that's
good. Oh, good.
And that it's actually all about colonialism.
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ!
That took a turn.
About finding her inner truth, and her inner truth is that her grandfather was racist. And that she's biracial.
What?
Yeah.
That was the voice calling? It's like, hey, you're half black.
It's
what?
I want to be sensitive here, because I saw some folks that were genuinely like, oh, it's cool that Disney is dealing with colonialism and stuff, but it's nothing. It's so half-baked in the actual context of the movie, and it doesn't make any emotional sense to me, at least.
Right.
Yeah, that would be like Disney tackling commercialism. Jesus Christ.
So it's just oh boy. It's not just that they didn't make it gay. Like that I expect that. Like, because again, the first movie, the Let It Go song, it's very heavily queer subtexty. Her parents tell her to keep her true self under wraps, and she wears gloves so her ice powers don't come out and freak people out. And then finally it bursts out of her because she can't control it for 1 second longer, and she runs away. And then when she's finally gotten away from all this, she sings the Let It Go song, and she's free now and is very happy. And then her lesson in the movie is realizing, okay, I can be myself and also be with the people my sister and the people who love me. I can open myself up to them. It's very sweet. And it works. Even though it's not explicit, the gay subtext works. In this one, it builds way harder. It leans way more into it. Is there someone else out there who's like me? And the answer is no. Elsa's completely special and unique with her ice powers, and there's nobody else like her.
What about the horse? Was that a girl horse? She could fuck it? 'Cause she's gay?
So
Dude, this sucks ass.
So it didn't work for me at all. It just was like two movies, like the colonialism movie and Elsa's Journey, and they just kind of go together in parallel, and then when they finally like clink together, it just makes no sense. It's just, and then the movie ends. It's just nonsense. And the songs are beautiful.
Did the reindeer do anything funny to like fall down or something?
Olaf's really funny, the snowman. He's like his character gimmick is that he's getting older and now he's like contemplating the mysteries of life. And so he's like he just says these like really mature things. Like genuinely they are mature and it's very funny. But yeah, it just doesn't come together. And then the two big Elsa sequences are really gorgeous. And then I went back to Anna and I was like, well, time to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
that's just because of her name.
Oh no, it's because she has nothing going on in this one. It just
I think like
doesn't congeal.
They lean too heavily into the fact that it's like, wow, Elsa was really popular in the first Frozen film. What if we made everything about her in the second film? And then it's like, wasn't there another character? Like, yeah, we can put her in there. What's her name? Kristen, whoever. Yeah, she can be in that.
Yeah, they don't. Elsa is very obviously the cool, interesting one. It's very sad. She's good. Anna's good in the first movie.
Well, that's what's cool is people really enjoy it when you take a breakout character that people really enjoy, and you're like, let's give them too much of this character.
They had two soaring coming out song. They had one soaring coming out song in the first movie that everyone liked. Let's give them two.
Yeah, it'd be like if we had a guest on our podcast once.
Oh no. I have to go.
I had to. It was right there. It was right there.
Oh, that's very funny.
I disagree. I think that's distasteful. That's to any present, past, present, and future guests. I think that's a hurtful thing to say. Actually, out of curiosity, you said that she sang "Let It Go Again." Please tell me that was very literal. She actually sings "Let It Go Again."
And it does start with like similar notes, but
dude, if she sang "Let It Go" again,
"Let It Go Again" are the lyrics.
I always thought songs should have like sequels, like like Rob Zombie could do like Dragula 2. It could be like dig through the ditches again and burn some more witches. I'm flying in the back of my Dragula 2.
Which is funny because he did do an album, Hellbilly Deluxe 2.
Oh my god, I was being sarcastic. Why? I'm like. Rob Zombie
and Metallica did Unforgiven 2, and they actually used the words Unforgiven 2.
I'm gonna link the song in the chat, and y'all can tell me if it's as queer as it obviously is.
I'm not gonna listen to it because I hate
that, John.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying friends in the chat.
Here's a hot take. Also from Frozen's clearly gay, and we can't fucking admit it in a fucking 2-hour movie.
We can't admit it because hey, guess what? We got to release this in China.
Yeah, but you can do the boring bad subtext thing. You can at least make that work. So at least you can sort of read into it what you want, like you can with the first movie. You can't even do that here because even as weak, cowardly subtext, it doesn't function.
Right.
Like if it had just been. Well, we can't say it. We can't actually ever kiss a girl. Sorry. But it at least was, like, functional. Then I would have gone like, well, that's what I expected. I'm happy with this. It's just bad. Even if you don't go into it, like, I really appreciated the Jenny Nicholson video on it because she didn't talk about the queer stuff at all. And she was just like, yeah, it still does not function. It's still very bad just as a story.
How many bags of popcorn would you give it out of 5?
2. It's got some really pretty sequences, and Idina Menzel does sing in it.
I would give. You know what? It sounds not that great. It sounds like it could really use a lot of polishing. I'm gonna go ahead and give it 5 bags of popcorn because it is a Disney movie, and Disney movies are always good. They got music, and the animation's fun. And there's also a little snowman that's fun, and you can take your kids to see it. Maybe you can take your grandparents to see it too.
You can buy toys from it.
I like marketing, and I like it when I see a character that is their entire purpose is, hey children, buy toy of me. Are those trolls back in it? Because boy, I fuck to those trolls.
God.
Answer me.
I'm just looking at this lyrics.
Answer me, motherfucker! Answer me right now. Are the goddamn trolls in Frozen 2? I will fucking throw you in the Hague if you do not answer me. Are those goddamn?
They're in the movie very briefly. Sorry. These lyrics though, it's just literally like what do you want, voice? Because you've been keeping me awake. Are you here to distract me so I make a big mistake, or are you someone out there who's a little bit like me, who knows deep down I'm not where I'm meant to be? And it's just
face deep in a pussy, no, right? Woo!
And then she whatever. It sucks. I hate Frozen 2. I'm really disappointed because I loved Frozen 1 a lot. But Disney can't make movies anymore. It's fine. They can't make Marvel movies. They can't make Star Wars movies. They can't make Disney movies. They can't make fucking Disney movies.
No, dude.
I have a better song that Elsa could sing, actually.
Yeah?
I would like to read the lyrics for it, if I may.
Okay.
All right. Take it off, baby. Bend over, let me see it. You looking for a pussy eater? I can be it. Quit playing with me, girl. Bring that over here. And climb aboard my face. Put that pussy on my beard. That might need to be rewritten a little bit.
Yeah. Put that pussy on my ears.
I ain't trying to take you shopping. Buy your ass no shoes. I'm trying to lick the clit while I'm looking up at you. No shame in my game, girl. Look back at me. I don't give a fuck if it's shaved or it's nappy.
This would be in the DreamWorks version of Frozen 2.
Right.
I
think that would work just fine in Frozen.
So are there no ballads about how Elsa loves eating pussy?
No, well, only implicitly, and then by the actual content, because it's about colonialism, I guess.
Why? Hey, it's like someone was like, hey, let's make it a gay movie, and then someone got their hands on it. They're like, well, let's take all the gay pages out, write something else, and
that's literally what I said. Is that coming out of it was just like, oh, so you wrote a good movie, and then you took out all the good, and then you took about half the pages, and then put in a different story.
Maybe
it's just like, ugh.
How much better would the movie have been if it was actually like, actually colonialism's really good, and like it's like it was starting with this nice like, oh, she's gay and that's good, but instead they're like, you know what people aren't positive enough about? Christopher Columbus and his horrible rape village.
That's the weird thing, is that Captain Marvel did this exact same thing where they had this completely toothless pro-refugee anti-colonialism messaging that just doesn't land at all, and it's just like, okay, so this is what you can put in your story for woke points now, without actually making it work or have teeth.
This like the big.
I hate Disney movies right now.
Dude,
Disney movies. Disney, Nintendo.
Shut up, Disney movies are all good. Like they're all 5 bags. They're all good because they're cartoons and they're fun and they make you think a little bit. They're good, and I would watch all of them. Invite your friends over, and you can watch them and maybe think about it. And sometimes
I love old Disney movies. I love Frozen. I love Beauty and the Beast. I love Little Mermaid. I love the live action Beauty and the Beast as well. I don't love that one.
Yeah,
the live action.
And I did really like Last Jedi. I wasn't slamming that one with the Star Wars thing. I was slamming everything else they've done.
I really liked Solo. I don't know about John.
More like
the one where the fucking one where they took like really good directors and writers, the Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and then brought them in and then fired them because they weren't fitting into the brand tightly enough. I hate Disney. I hate.
There aren't any toys in this shot. You're fired.
Essentially.
Ant-Man. Like, remember when they're like, "Hey, let's get someone who's like well known for like a visual style and fun,"
and then let's fire them.
And also, what's insane to me is they hired a director. Like, nothing wrong with Peyton Reed, I fucking guess. Like, he's made one movie and it's called Yes Man. It's almost like Disney like just pulled their dick out, put it on the table, and they're like, what are you gonna do about it? You're gonna see it anyway, and like they're not wrong. It's like all those people who see subtext and they're like, no, they're signaling that they're evil lizard monsters. I'm like, that's bullshit. And then they make the director of Ant-Man a guy who's only made a movie called Yes Man, and I'm like, that's
after firing Edgar Wright, to be clear.
Yes, after firing
him to do it and then firing him.
Well, probably because I think what I understand is like they're like, yeah, well, you need this scene where like Ant-Man goes to the Avengers headquarters. He's like, I'm not fucking doing that, and like I guess he had too much dignity, and he was like, no, I won't make some terrible fucking moment where we have to meet another character, and then fucking Tony Stark's like, I'm getting too old for this shit, and everyone's like, that was a reference to something else. Here's $80 million opening weekend.
So,
but did you guys like?
I'm seeing Star Wars 9. I saw Frozen 2, and then I'm off the hook. There's nothing else they've got me on for right now, which feels really good. I'll be free of Disney and Nintendo for a little while.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Star Wars 9.
Yeah.
You ready for some JJ?
I'm ready for some fucking JJ. It's gonna be.
Are
great.
you?
I'm so ready. It's gonna be such a great time. No, I'm not gonna be happy. I'm gonna be
movie's
free.
really JJ.
Oh God.
Dude, if you're not gonna be happy, you don't have to go to the movie.
No, I need to. I really liked Last Jedi. I really care about Kylo Ren.
Jesus Christ! If you're not gonna like the movie, don't see it.
I really liked Last Jedi. I know this one's not gonna be good, but
then don't see it. This is why capitalism wins.
I'm saying I'm gonna be free after this one. I'm not gonna fall for it again. I'm getting better and better.
Like,
that's what they always say.
I'm living with nothing but fucking abuse victims.
Fucking Rhett got me to play Mario Maker 2, and that's the only time I broke all year.
Yeah,
you literally only played my levels.
I basically just played Rhett's levels.
Maker 3, and you're gonna fucking play it because we're all fucking getting sucked into this bullshit. We're all gonna buy fucking pop vinyls of things and fucking swallow our own tongues in our sleep while we embrace the sweet kiss of death. Don't fucking let them do this to you.
Look,
better than
that. A great Christmas episode.
I've got one other thing, and this one's a lot nicer, I think.
Is it shorter?
It is shorter. So, new decade coming. I kind of felt like I wanted to expand my palette a bit in 2020, and that meant maybe trying to be nicer to a couple things that I've been sort of mean to. Does that make sense?
Like Nintendo.
No. Well, I want to play like Pokemon White because that one's pretty, and I kind of want to like have an okay feeling towards that whole genre. Since when people started Sword and Shield, I was just like gut negativity, and I kind of want to conquer that. I kind of want to play a strategy RPG.
Like Fire Emblem.
No, not Fire Emblem.
You asshole.
And then I did see that the King Knight expansion for Shovel Knight was coming out in like 2 days.
No.
Right.
Oh no.
So I did boot up Shovel Knight's, and I was like, maybe I'll play the Spectre Knight campaign. And then I went, why don't we just give this other one more shot? Why don't we just give Blake of Shadows one more shot?
Blake of Shadows, it's real good. It's good.
Blake of Shadows, it's real good.
It's good.
I like
I don't really have a.
Bad?
I don't really. Well, the thing is that last year I played it and I didn't really like it, because it was about love, and love is dead, obviously.
Dude, love is fucking gay, bro.
Honestly. And I don't really. I feel like this one's pretty straightforward because like, it feels really good. Like it feels good in a weird way. Like the first Shovel Knight was good in a very straightforward. Like, we made Mega Man DuckTales thing.
And then Plague Knight is completely fucking foreign when you started the first time.
He is such a wacky boy to control.
Yes, he's a wacky boy.
He's a wacky little boy.
He's a little sweetheart. I want to give him an apple and a kiss.
Mm-hmm. And I just kept playing through the story and all the little moments with Mona, and then I just like got to the end, and I was like, oh, this actually makes me feel nice things this time.
Oh,
hey!
Instead of the last time where I was just like, ugh.
I understand.
So, what is this bullshit?
Did you try doing the dance in front of her? And then see his idol animation?
It's actually really funny.
I'm sorry, that's what I was going to say, is like, okay, say whatever you want about the game. You take that one moment, put it in any other game, I'm like, alright, that's at least like 10 out of 10. That's the best thing.
It's a sweet expansion. It's a sweet little story. I found myself just kind of connecting a lot more with the relationship there. And I actually like nice little love stories in games. And I like platformers that are cool to control and have like interesting frictions.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna like continue on into like the 2 more campaigns.
You know what? They'll be there if you ever want to.
They'll be there if I ever want to. But I played through this one again. I played through Plague of Shadows, and I had a nice time. I liked it a lot more now.
I hope Yacht Club Games gets like more confident in themselves and they don't feel that they just need to be like, hey, we still have other things I'm proud of them for doing more stuff with Shovel Knight, but I'd like them to maybe...
Well, they were obligated. Like, this was...
that was a Kickstarter
Yeah,
thing?
this was all Kickstarter stuff.
Oh, I apologize.
Crazy. They spent 5 years on Kickstarter promises.
Yeah.
You know what? It's fucked, but, like, that's the nature of the beast. It's
when
like,
you have to make a completely different kind of game each time out. Like, I think that they did admirable for what they set out to do. Yeah. They've stretched that engine as far as it can go, and we haven't even played King Knight yet.
And it feels like you could just make like a really like fucking lame ass palette swap and be like, yeah, it's this.
It's the same.
But they give a shit.
Yeah,
like, that's it's not. It's like inverse Mighty Number 9, where they're like, oh my god, they're still giving us money. In this one you can fuck the sidekick. I don't know.
But like Yacht Club Games, as far as I know, they are kind of starting to get ready to make that move beyond, because they have Cyber Shadow coming out next year too, which they're helping the developer on that finish up. And I know that like they are looking at going like and finally getting away from Shovel Knight, at least for a bit. Like I know that there's probably a sequel in the pipeline at some point. I mean,
think they've straight up started hiring like 3D modelers.
Yeah, but they're moving on. Like once they've kind of moved past this in Cyber Shadow, so
good. I want that for them.
I think Plague Knight did start out as just a palette swap where he played exactly like Shovel Knight, and they realized like
that would not be fun,
and they just went way above and beyond with all these expansions, like making them their own games, basically.
Yeah,
it's kind of ridiculous.
Well, and you know what? No one else does that. It's just like, hey, we're obligated to do this. Here's this in the shittiest and least fun way possible. And it's clearly like, no, wait a minute. Games are fun. Let's make this fun. And then Activision's like cleaning the bones of dead children out of their teeth. Like, what are those plebeians doing?
Yeah, it's like the developers for Hollow Knight. Like they jumped in on adding a bunch of cool free shit to their game too, and like the new game coming out, Hollow Knight Silksong, started out as a free expansion for Hollow Knight, but it got so big and away from them that is now it's going to be sort of like a sequel or prequel. Like we're not 100% sure on what Silksong is, but
I think they'll still give it to the original backers because it was a promise on Kickstarter that you'd be able to play as.
If I haven't played Hollow Knight, how immediately should I purchase it?
Right now.
Okay.
It is absolutely one of my favorite games of the decade.
Oh gosh, I think that, and I think like Lost Planet are the two games I've heard are like really fun and like indie and joyous. Maybe I have the name wrong.
Lost Planet is definitely not indie.
Oh, it's not. Oh my god, it's the fucking one that's like Sonic like.
Freedom Planet.
Freedom Planet.
Freedom Planet.
Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
I would prioritize Hollow Knight over Freedom Planet any day of the week, but I do like Freedom Planet.
It's this little indie game. It was called Last of Us. It's only on Steam. Not a lot of people have played it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking between me, Paulie, and John, we've all put Hollow Knight and Nier Automata on our Game of the Year lists.
Yeah, between me and Paulie. Go ahead.
2 and 1 respectively.
Yeah, so I'm like, I wonder what, because Hollow Knight was my number 1 as well, so I just wonder which would have a slightly lower score.
I put it at number 4.
I think Hollow Knight is on PS4 now, is it not?
Oh fuck yeah, good. Thank God.
If you want to play it there, I'm pretty sure it's on
Absolutely,
PS4 now.
Because I'm telling you, I use my computer. I'm like, a computer for video games? What is?
I remember the last time you tried to use a computer for video games, you were DMing me at 2 a.m, yelling about it, trying to figure out how to get a controller to work with Curse of the Moon. I remember that. Night.
Oh no, it's all true. I'm a fucking fraud.
I spent a full hour getting my controller working with Chantilly's. That was worth it.
Oh god, yeah, that was totally worth it. But yeah, it's on PS4 as of September 11th, 2018. So you're good.
Yeah, it's on everything.
Never mind.
Get on that game, dude. You are serious. Like, yeah, Hollow Knight is your jam.
Or Nier.
or Nier. Like, they're both real good. Man, those are so.
I don't know.
That's hot shit.
97% of people like this on Google users. I'm sorry. Let's hear from the 3%.
I want to hear from the 3% who got their ass kicked on the first boss and hate it.
I have seen people say that Hollow Knight is like way too hard for them at the start. I'm like
what?
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, guys.
Why doesn't it have difficulty options? That's very inaccessible
the map is
and
so
unfair.
hard. I don't know where I am.
I don't get it.
Why does my character die when I lose all my health?
Why doesn't my map automatically update? Why do I have to sit at why do I have to sit at a bench to update my map?
Why does the fucking lava kill you instantly, dude?
Come on, dude.
Nothing makes me happier than Darkside Phil. Also, the fact that he raised like $1,000 for a big surprise. He's like, "We got a cat," and I'm like,
"What?
Oh, God,
what?"
Cool. He had a fundraiser, a good news fundraiser.
What the fuck?
I'm hand to God. He's like, "We're gonna reveal something exciting," and everybody's like, "I don't know, is his wife pregnant?" Which would have been hysterical. But he's like, "So we got a cat. His name's fucking Jasper, dude." And I guess he was hiding the cat in his house because Darkside Phil is a psychopath. He's like, "We gotta fucking save the big reveal, cat. We can't fucking show him the cat. We gotta show it because it's a cool new addition." It's like, you're 48. Just stop.
Oh my God.
Hand to God. He said something about like, "Well, at the rate we're going, I don't think I'm going to be able to have the big reveal." And then after the break, he has like another $800. He's like, "All right, dudes, we hit our goal." And I'm like,
what a scam artist, dude.
What is this? Like, everybody who's like, "Oh, those gamer girls with their tits out on Twitch." You know what? You could get something out of that. Darkside Phil's like, "Give me $1,000. I have a cat." Like,
what the fuck?
What a sick fuck. It reminds me, like, Onision did the same thing. Speaking of people we are really beloved. He did a video where he was begging for people to support him on Patreon. Poor thing, only how could he afford all 3 of his houses?
Right.
And he then actually says like, "So we bought a puppy, and I know what a lot of people are thinking. You just got that for sympathy clicks." That was how he led. He's like,
"Oh my God.
A lot of people view a video that has a puppy in it as everyone's just, oh, he's just going to try and farm clicks because the puppy's cute." And I'm like, no, that's not my first thought when I see a dog, you goddamned narcissistic monster. I'm like, wow, what a cute dog. I'm not like, that man bought that for click views. Like, he's revealing too much of his power level, I guess, because he's just saying, like, "Hey, I know that you're all thinking that I just bought this dog to make you watch this video," and I'm like, someone break into that man's house and fucking rescue that dog. He's an animal.
Man.
Onision, not the literal animal.
We have made such a terrible mistake in letting these types of people have money for doing nothing. But that is a subject that I'm not willing to go super deep into, because we're starting to get late into the night, and I think we need to see if Rhett has anything else he would like to talk about.
No.
All right.
Sorry.
All right, it's fine. It's fine.
This is my fault.
This is the last this is the last normal episode of 2019 and of the decade. So we had to go a little long, but it's getting a little long in the tooth. My throat's starting to go. I bet Rhett's not feeling super great. So we're gonna go ahead and start winding. We're gonna go ahead and start winding it down. Samurai Karasu, I want to thank you, of course, for like just coming on at the literal last second. I just got like wild hair up my ass and was like, "Hey, he's on Skype right now. Let's see if he wants to be on a podcast."
I'm not doing anything. I just got off work. I should have slept after running on like 6 hours of sleep across 2 days. But instead I'm like, that sounds fun. I'll do a podcast and not eat dinner. I'm goddamned idiot.
I gave you an hour and a half to eat.
Yeah, and I made some sandwiches. I'm like, wow, that wasn't filling at all.
No. Damn. But hey, at least now you can go grab yourself some sandwiches, queue up a Dark Side Phil stream, and feel better about yourself.
Absolutely, and masturbate.
Exactly.
Thank you
where can our internet friends find you if they want to experience more of just you doing the you thing?
Please bother me on Twitter to update my blog at mmprblog.blogspot.com. Jesus, I used to remember that. I haven't updated in like a year. I want to start writing again, but I keep reading it. I'm like, this isn't funny. Why do people read this? So if you could do your best, everyone, to coax me out of my horrendous depression and just say, fucking write something, you big fat bitch, I would appreciate it greatly.
I'll get right on that. I'm going to do that right now, actually.
Please do. And I'm on Twitter at mmprblog. I tweet a lot of things about Democrats and eating the rich. I'm unlike many people you might see on Twitter.
Gotcha.
I don't have anything interesting to say. I'm sorry.
All right. John Thayer, where can the internet friends find you?
Farawaytimes.itch.io.
And our friend Iffy in the chat says it is too funny, you fuck. So there you go. So she loves you too.
Thank you.
You still got time to play afterward before you send in your list.
There you go. You still have time.
It's very good.
Rhett, where can the internet find you?
Podcast at socksmakepeoplesexy.net.
That's right. If you want, this is your absolute last chance to get your Game of the Year list in. A reminder to how to do that is get yourself a list of 3 games. Doesn't matter if they were released this year. Write yourself 1 to 3 sentences about each. Send that off to podcast at socksmakepeoplesexy.net. And we'll take care of the rest because we're going to be recording that. We need that by noon on the 14th. We will not be taking anything afterward. So, there you go. Thanks again, everybody, for coming out. Thank you, everybody, for, of course, downloading and listening to us. And, you know, we will probably be running the end of the year list stuff starting on December 24th. So, those will go from the 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th. And we will catch you in January for the next live cast normal episode of our podcast. So remember, we are the podcast that loves you. We are the only ones that love you. Stick around, folks. I'm going to shoot you all off over to a stream somewhere, and we will be saying goodnight from the rest of everybody here. So let me see who's streaming on the old internets tonight. Y'all like, let's see, there's Chrono Cross. Somebody's streaming Chrono Cross. Who likes Chrono Cross?
I like it more than Suikoden.
That's bad. Well, there you go.
I think I like him about as much as Suikoden 2.
Okay. Well, we're going to send you over to PJ DeCaesar. You may know PJ from various marathons and the like. He's known for breaking games a lot. A lot of the times by complete accident. So, and he's doing a casual playthrough of Chrono Cross right now. Be sure to say hi. All that fun stuff. And we will catch you next time. Later, y'all.